love how the rain destroys the bitrate. What is it with water in games that destroys bitrate? Like waterfalls will do it, and I guess rainy areas do it too.
Well, you need to indicate motion, basically. Otherwise, it's just like a color.
So it's moving water.
Yeah, and then when you get the motion, that means you have to have things moving.
I see.
Yeah, and so the droplets
did the
always
stream
get
just go
represented by
offline?
like individual dots or lines. I still see it.
Looks okay to me for now.
Okay. I just saw a thing come up on Chatty.
Oh.
It said stream offline.
Oh, that's
It
a problem
feels-
with the Twitch API.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll see like a bunch of streams go down, then back up, but they're really still up the whole time. Oh, the stream hiccuped? Oh, did we get quality options or something?
We got quality options.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, then it wasn't a false alarm. It was a real alarm.
Well, it's still nothing to be alarmed about.
I'm alarmed with the quality options, so I'm alarmed about that.
It's alarming. So fighting Cloudman seems kind of
So close.
not quite straightforward as to how you want to be attacking him in terms of charge shots and regular shots. Like, I guess I can't tell if you always want to be using the regular shot and then the charge is just when he moves out of range, you might as well charge.
I think that's the case. It's been a long time, so I don't remember. Let me check the video.
I don't know what the damage rates are for the charge. Is there two different charge levels?
Yes.
Yes.
It always seems to be, like, disappointing. Like, it's never like 1 and 10 or something. It's
Right.
always, the charge
It's
is
like
always like
I think
2 or
it's
3.
1, 2, and 4,
1, 2, and 4. Okay.
or maybe even 1, 2, and 3. I'm not exactly sure on that.
I think it's 1, 2, and 3.
That's another thing that seems like it changes every Mega Man game.
Mm-hmm.
Is damage from charge shots.
I know there's one game where the mid-level one doesn't even do extra damage, it's just bigger. And then the full charge is 2.
Oh yeah, was that?
I think it's 6.
6? It was one that we had on here. 6.
Yeah. We brought in
6
someone.
is literally the
knowledgeable.
only Mega Man game I've never beaten. I just cannot get into it. I've tried so many times to beat it. I just don't like it.
Okay, so the cloud fight is actually a pretty interesting one and kind of demanding, because you need to learn when he's invincible and when he's not. Whenever he calls down lightning, then he's going to be invincible and cannot be damaged. So you want to use the uncharged shots whenever he's down to the ground and not calling lightning, and whenever he's going to call lightning or flies up, then you want to charge a shot.
Which mythical? Which Mega Man games have you beaten?
Beaten.
Yes, beaten.
Definitely 1 and 2. And like 4 on the Genesis or something.
Wow, that's a good choice.
Yeah. I had that as a kid growing up.
Well, that'll be fun once we've got Genesis games to get a little Genesis Mega Man going.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually played much of the other ones.
I've only really played 1 through 3, honestly, like on the
Oh,
NES.
9. I forgot. I beat 9.
I beat 1, 2, and 3. That's it.
I had a lot of different Mega Man games. I've beaten 2, 3, I think I've beaten 4. I know I didn't have it as a child, but I think I beat it in my teen years sometime. I've beaten 7, 9, 10, 1, 2. I played 3, I can't remember if I beat it.
You're making us look bad, Ark.
Oh,
Sorry,
man.
I'm sorry.
I beat one of the Game Boy ones.
I also did a couple of the, I did Network Transmission, the GameCube.
Oh man,
Oh yeah, I've never played any of the spin-offs.
A
You
couple
didn't play
of
Mega
the-
Man Soccer?
I can't beat this
No.
boss.
Mega Man Soccer was so good.
The Game Boy games that changed up the style. Get the name. Battle Network.
What's that?
I
Say
think
it
I
again?
wanted to grab that.
The Battle Network games. I played Red Sun, whichever one that was. I've played a lot of different Mega Man games.
I've never played any of the 3D ones either. Legends, I think. There's some people who really like the Mega Man Legend games.
I've only played the first one, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Played Legends, but I didn't beat it.
Sorry?
Played Legends, but I didn't beat it. That was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, now it's ladies that's frozen.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, that's the same for. Wait, I think you might have just been.
Oh, that wasn't.
Oh, no, yeah, you're frozen. I just looked over and he was on. In a menu.
So it's
Paused.
just paused.
That's weird. I didn't have any problems with these with Twitch streams, but Hitbox seems to freeze a bit more. Maybe I'll up the buffer size or something. I guess we'll just have to keep an eye on it and let me know if anything is freezing.
You wouldn't think Cloudman would be very threatening.
Light fluffy
Yeah,
clouds.
sounds soft.
Hey,
Nice. Pleasant.
man.
Then they go ahead and give him water, wind, and electricity powers.
Yeah. Throughout the stage, you can, if you have Freezeman's weapon, whenever you see one of those white floating guys, if you hit him with Freezeman, then it turns the stage to a snowy stage.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's cool.
neat.
And so if you do that in the hidden platform section, then you can see all the platforms.
That's pretty clever.
Nifty.
One of my favorite things about this game was the fact that you can get the Ghost and Goblin music in the one stage.
Shade
I think
Man
it's,
is pretty awesome.
Shademan, yeah.
Threw some shade.
Yeah, all of the bosses in this game are really well done. Except for the Riley capsule. Arguably the Wily Machine.
Anyone managed to get the fast platforms yet?
I came like literally like 1 pixel away earlier.
Huh.
Really close though.
You gonna try for it?
I think if it's like really close and I have a completed time without it, then I might start throwing it in there.
Okay.
But I don't know. We'll see how practice goes, because once I feel comfortable with the rest of the level, I'm just gonna keep doing that segment just to try to get that down. Seems like the timing on it's crazy precise though.
Yeah, it seems that way. I think
If I hadn't seen video to the contrary, I wouldn't have thought it was possible.
Right. The first run I watched of this, as I was preparing the goal, was Abda's GDQ run, and I think he failed it twice before he got it. So I assume it wasn't easy even for someone who's practiced the game a lot. But in this, you don't lose much when you die. When you die, you just go back and restart the goal, and it's not too far into it.
Oh, I think these little rain maker guys are a thing. Oh, I forget the name. But you make them when it's raining, and they're supposed to make the rain go away. So when they're face up, then the rain goes away, and then they tip
It's
over.
like a little ball, like usually just paper or something, and a little ball and a little face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Wait, is this some sort of... This is
Jap-
a meme?
Japanese
What is
culture.
this?
It's of sorts, I guess.
Japanese
One
culture.
based
Yeah.
Okay, alright. This is a thing that they didn't just make up for the purpose of this game. Got it.
Yes. There are some Japanese games that, like, we look at it and we're just like, what the hell, man? Like, it's just this mishmash of random garbage. And it turns out it's a collection of, like, 50 different Japanese myths that completely go over all our heads. Totally makes sense.
This cloud platform thing is so hard to pull off. I just want to get it once. I'd be happy just getting it once.
Is the location of HEDQ decided already?
I got it.
I think it is, yeah.
Oh, wait for it. There it is.
Hey, made it.
That is.
There's no way I'm trying for it because I'm still having trouble just killing the boss.
Well, we are 31 minutes into practice by the time he got it for the first time, so maybe that means it's not too easy to do.
Yeah. I still don't think I'm going to be throwing it into attempts. It's nasty.
You definitely want to be good at this boss fight. That should be a big chunk of your practice time.
Alright, we got some Mega Man-ish music now.
Airman's pretty close to Cloud.
Yeah, exactly.
Come
It's some of these platforms even look like they were like these cloud platforms straight out of Airman, obviously. And there are some platforms, some green platforms that remind me of those faces in Airman stage.
Yeah, with the horns or the ears or whatever that come up.
Mm-hmm.
Screw those things.
Yeah, that sucks, doing the little 1 pixel jump over there.
Oh
Landing
yeah.
on the 1 pixel corner. Also, this boss that you're fighting, Cloudman, looks sort of like the enemies in the cloud platforms part of Airman stage. You know the spot where where fast air happens. There's these little
Yeah, they throw the
throwing
lightning
guys.
bolts.
Yeah, these little dudes on clouds that throw lightning bolts, and that's kind of what this boss is, a dude on a cloud throwing lightning bolts.
I will have to say one thing that's this is just kind of my complaint with a lot of games in general. It should never hurt you to touch an enemy. I think it's the most ridiculous thing ever.
Touching an enemy shouldn't hurt you.
Yeah, I just there's very few games that don't do that. I just think it's ridiculous. Why would that hurt anybody?
That's
If I
true.
just run into somebody, it would not kill me.
Right, it's sort of
like-
unfair. Like, how come it's not me who hurts the enemy when we touch? You know,
Yeah.
why is it so one-way interaction here? I guess you have to assume that the enemies are all electric or something. They're all electrified. I don't know.
Well, I'm
I mean,
guessing
there's-
it grows from like when enemies were just obstacles in like old arcade games. So you would just not touch them. That was the thing.
And we just haven't moved
Yeah.
beyond that, huh?
Yeah, it's like even today in like the newest games, the newest games out on any console, they still do that. There's a lot of things that games do that are holdovers from the arcade days that I think are just I just look at it and just like, no, why? Why not just make good games? And there are people that have forgotten about all that stuff and they're like, hey, you know what? Let's rethink this whole, game thing and decide on our own what it's going to take to be a game instead of just going with the same old tropes, just weird crafting to make all of your necessary items, fetch quests. Oh God, fetch quests, and
One day
enemies
Nintendo
hurting
will
you.
get rid of lives.
Get rid of lives, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. At least a lot of games have definitely dumped the whole lives idea, because that's definitely a holdover from the arcades.
But then, like, you'd lose the one-up mushroom. You
Yeah.
can see why they haven't, like, moved on.
Well, I mean, you could look at Mario games, or the kind of games where you can land on enemies' heads as being valid, because there it just depends on how you and the enemy touch. If you go sideways, it goes in the enemy's favor. If you go from above, it goes in your favor. So at least it's not completely one-sided.
But in a game like Mega Man, everything hurts you.
Right,
Just
and
they're
this-
touching.
Exactly.
Some things that make sense if they're made of fire or electricity, but just every robot, like seriously, all of them, Mega Man is weak.
That's right.
Dude. He's not like
Metal on metal.
touched.
It's all that scraping. Like gonna hurt the paint.
That's it. It's actually not a life meter, it's his paint job meter.
After it
It's
gets down to 0, and he's like, "No, my paint job," and he goes
Yeah.
helpless away.
His back arches with just pure rage and losing the paint. And then he explodes.
I think I'm gonna spend the last 10 minutes or so just practicing on the boss. He's just been destroying me.
I think that's pretty smart.
Yeah, you definitely want to be solid on this boss.
Oh.
It's a little tricky though because like it's a slow fight just by nature, even if you do it right. It's still gonna take a while and it's still gonna feel like you're not doing it right because there's lots of times where you're just not shooting him. So you could practice the heck out of it and still never feel like you really were getting it.
A lot of bosses in this game that kind of seem like that. Like Shade Man, he goes and flies up to the top of the screen
Oops.
in a lot of the battle. It's
Whoa,
really difficult to hit him unless you're using either his weakness or Freeze Cracker.
That was weird.
what
I
it's
pressed the
called.
button and it switched the ROM I was playing.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
really interesting.
wanna
See, I
what
was
thing
trying to
this is
set a save. I was trying to set a save point just so I could, fight the boss a bunch and just change the ROM. Okay.
gonna- Is there an I'm feeling lucky button?
You get it to Super Ninja Code.
That's
Like, how of that of all games?
It was like
obviously
You
it's the
somehow
default
hit,
game
like,
that you have to
Alt-
play.
Alt FN Enter or something. That might have done it.
Okay. Go again. All right.
How much time do we have left?
Just under 20 minutes.
Oh, I got it again. Nice. Now that I'm kind of getting how this fast cloud works, it might not be as hard as I thought. I think I just came up with a nice visual cue on when to jump. Yep. Twice in a row.
That does seem like the crux of it, really. That one jump onto the, like jumping onto the cloud as soon as you can, basically.
Yep, and being over as far to the right as you can on the cloud before it as well.
Still hard to execute on, though.
Ugh, that one was close.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get it and then get a good boss fight.
Very true. That's why I think I'm gonna get a time on the boards and then start going for it. It's way early. Got it again.
No.
I don't like this invisible platform section though. That's kind of rough.
Okay, so I just checked. The charge shot is 2 damage when fully charged, and the shooter is 1 damage. So it's not as powerful as we
Yeah, you definitely want to be sticking with the good old lemons as much as you can.
Okay, that's good to know, because I was trying to time it for charge shots, but probably not worth it most of the time, it seems.
The fastest strat is to use the lemons
Oh,
when,
crap! I keep
whenever
sliding on
he's
accident. It's driving me crazy.
when you use the lemons whenever he's not calling down the lightning. Whenever he calls down the lightning, when it hits him, he is going to be completely invincible for as long as the lightning is charging him. So whenever he does that, or whenever he flies up, then you want to be charging a shot, because immediately you're going to be getting 2 damage instead of 1.
I've always thought the ending to Zelda sounds like it should be in a Mario game.
It's really peppy. It's got that shuffle. It does sound more like Mario music than Zelda.
I don't know why I mess up slide jumping on that one jump every time. I figured out why jumping out of slides feels so weird in this. You cannot be like holding down at all. Like other Mega Man games, you can hold diagonal down right and get the jump out of a slide sometimes. This one you have to completely let go down and just be hitting right.
And this is going back so badly for me. I'm just thinking of forfeiting right now. It's just, I never played SNES games.
Again.
And I have no SNES skills whatsoever.
There it is. Nice.
Did we determine that you can jump out of any part of the slide, or do you need to slide for a certain distance first?
I don't think there's really a certain distance. I think it's just you have to completely let go of down.
Okay, so it's a really
Yeah, because it's letting me jump out really quick as long as I switch D-pad positioning.
Got it. Okay. And I also wondered, are you slowing down every time you jump or every time you land from a jump? Because I couldn't tell. It sort of seemed like the screen was hitching for just a frame when I was landing, but I could be my
It
imagination.
definitely seems that way.
I remember there wasn't any slid on air landing.
It looked to me like you were, and then I was trying to convince myself that I wasn't, and it seemed kind of convincing. So I don't know. I'm going both ways on it here. I might want to just boot it up and test it.
I think it may just be that because of the way the animation shifts, it seems like you're slowing down.
Oh, that might be it. Oh man, Author Blues arrived from the future to tell us that Scavenger is the winner of the SGL tournament.
Yeah, not even this episode. The whole
Wow.
thing.
The whole thing, yeah.
He's just spoiled it all.
He not only won, but got the world record in it, according to future Author Blues.
I don't even know what to say to that. Thank you, Off. You have more faith in me than I have in myself, buddy.
I guess that would mean he beats Author Blues.
Or maybe
When would
he's
that happen?
coming back in time just to ruin things so that he doesn't beat Author Blues.
Ooh.
Maybe. I mean, me and him did blind race a couple games the other night, and he thoroughly wrecked me, so... I don't know.
Maybe he wasn't blind because he's been to the future.
Yeah.
I mean,
Time
he's already
paradox.
established that he has time travel capabilities.
Yeah, once time travel comes into the equation, really nothing else makes sense anymore. Anything is possible. It all kind of goes out the window.
It looks like they wouldn't meet until the finals.
Unless they both get loser bracketed.
Yeah. Well, they can't both get loser bracketed and then... Wait, no, yeah, he could still win that way. Okay.
Yeah.
That also means, like, wait, what is this challenge predictions then? He made one.
Well, maybe he made it before he went to the future. But see, then he could have always just gone back to before he made it, before he went to the
Yeah.
future, and just see that's why time traveling just ruins anything. Everything plot related is just garbage after that. Yeah, right. Go back in time 10 years ago so you can take all the records. It's like every week you reveal one skip that normally wouldn't be found for years. Be like, oh, I just found this. Just found this
Hey
wrong warp
guys,
glitch.
Wind Waker just came out, and I clipped through the barrier. That allows you to get to the final area in the game.
That's right.
Yeah. Because in the future, they figure out how to skip past the barrier.
It's like, oh, you don't think Ocarina of Time can be beaten in under an hour?
I don't know about that.
I don't know, 10 years ago maybe it could have still. Maybe you'd have to go back a bit further than that. I'm just kidding. I know that you can't go back too much further.
We need to get the Ocarina to go back further.
Can't go back too far, because then the game's not out.
Unless he brings a copy of the game back.
That's true, and you could release the game earlier, just so that you can start speedrunning it earlier, but I don't know why. See, time traveling again ruins everything.
Also, does your body go back 10 years? Probably not. So you're not really giving yourself extra years to speedrun. In terms of your lifespan.
Unless you go back and then you find yourself 10 years ago, and then you hand yourself the game and say, hey, don't lose this.
You impart your knowledge. You in the future, a device is made that can transfer knowledge instantly. And you find your past self. You strap it on.
That's true.
Give him everything you've learned.
You can go as far as you want into the future to find the technology needed to do that. Or you can just transplant your brain into a younger version of your body. I'm sure that would work.
Yeah, we have the technology for time travel, so brain transplant isn't really not too far off.
Exactly.
I bet these guys wish they could time travel, get more than an hour to practice Mega Man 7. But alas, they've only got less than 6 minutes left.
It's about the time I'm gonna turn in to beat this stage. Holy crap. Cloudman. Of all the bosses, you pick the one with the crappy stage and the rain and the... I'm probably not gonna complete this game, honestly.
Feeling that you're not on Cloud 9 right now.
Forecast. Cloudy. With a chance of... Oh god! Oh, no slide.
This next song on Rainwave is titled How to Kill a Man from Outer Space. So I am going to vote
Interesting.
for it. Now, is the man from outer space, or are you killing him from outer space?
Oh, like to be in outer space and then kill a man who's not in outer
Yeah.
space. Gotcha.
Like an orbital nuke or something.
Or just dropping anything, basically.
Yeah, any
Yeah.
We gotta
Magic.
get grammar and songs when we can actually figure this out.
Yeah, I'm sure the lyrics will explain.
Maybe I can fire a laser from space and kill Cloudman. Yes. Yes, that's the new strat.
That would be the dream.
So yeah, gotta find that space laser first.
Yeah, you could, but you gotta go to Orbital Spaceman's stage first. Oh, Canonophone. Exposing
A future lie.
exposing the weakness of our show where we rely upon the honor system. Just says straight up, I'm gonna lie.
Oh, you can't tell.
I've never played that game before.
I'm playing. This is a task running right now. You can't tell. You can't tell how fast and perfect it is, and how I'm never dying a lot. And
Keep submitting the same run every time.
The consistency!
Funny is sometimes we'll just have somebody who just sits there the whole time. We don't see them even moving, but they keep submitting tasks to us.
But the only thing I'm happy about is I'm getting better at that Bazooka Joe kill, or whatever his name is, the guy with the shield.
Sniper
I
Joe?
guess he's kind of like a Sniper Joe, yeah.
Sniper Joe. Okay.
Bazooka Joe, huh?
Oh, that was
Isn't that some bubblegum?
yes.
So,
A really good bubblegum. And it came with cheesy jokes, as I remember.
With little comics. The
Yeah,
little wax
those
paper
comics.
comics. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, there.
And you could redeem them for stuff, but I collected them, but I never actually sent them in for anything. I know.
Yeah.
I lost interest. Because
Okay,
it
I'm
takes so
gonna
many.
Recall if I ever did or not.
Well, I sure intended to, but it takes so many to actually get anything of any value that it's the kind of thing that you got to do for years.
I got big into Pepsi points.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. I think I actually got I got some dog tags or something.
You know,
And
somebody
my-
actually won the Harrier in that commercial, and then demanded.
Yeah. I remember that.
And
They
then
actually
what?
got this.
They,
There's a
they had
commercial
the million points.
where they said if you get 1,000,000 Pepsi points, you get a Harrier jet, right? And it's supposed to be like, oh man, I really want Pepsi points, but it's clearly not actually a thing. They're not going to give you a Harrier jet. There's no 1,000,000 point prize. But some guy actually got 1,000,000 points and said, "You put this in your advertisement. Give me my Harrier jet." Made a whole thing about it.
Didn't they end up eventually having to give him the Harrier?
They gave him something. I
Yeah.
forget what they did.
He won. Like he had a case, but I don't think he actually got a jet.
I think they gave him whatever the value of the jet was in money, probably.
Yeah, something like that.
You mean like 3.2 billion? I don't think they
Yeah.
did that.
Is that how much those things are worth, really?
Yeah, fighter jets are ridiculously like expensive.
Like, I knew it would be in the
Each
millions, but not billions.
Like, or we're talking at least like probably like 400, 500 million easily, possibly a billion.
Huh.
That Harrier's an advanced jet. I mean, those things are amazing because they can, do that hover. I mean, okay, yeah, look that up. I'm really curious now as what the actual value is, but I know that the jets are really high. It's like it's sort of a running dark joke among pilots that they're flying in the most expensive coffin ever.
Wait, hold on. The first
Oh, the
match
unit.
is actually an advertisement. See Harrier jump jet for sale. Just $1.5 million.
Yeah, I knew a billion was way too high.
Yeah, no, it says the program for developing them costs 6.5 billion, but the unit cost is 30 million. But I don't know if this is just referring to specific kinds, and I don't know if this is back in the day when they started making them or now. I don't know if these are, adjusted costs. I imagine things get cheaper over time if you build enough of them.
Yeah, still even 30 million. I don't think they gave that guy $30 million.
He lost the case and got nothing.
Aww.
What? He should have got something.
Really, they gave him nothing? I would be pissed. You think they would have given him something just out of, like, hey, have a can of Coke at least, here. Something, a 6-pack maybe.
I guess the urban legend ending to that story was that he won. Because the actual ending sucks. But yeah, it looks like he didn't actually get the points either. Because you could send in $1 instead of 10 points. So he was just like, yeah, I got 700,000. Give me a jet. Probably sell it for more than that.
Alright, well, let's start getting switched over to our main game.
Alright, yep.
That's right, we're here to some ActRaiser.
Here for some
Yeah,
ActRaiser, main game of
Talked
the
a
day.
whole lot about that.
Alright, how many splits? Let's see.
Yeah, while we're getting set up, I'm gonna go AFK for a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
We're doing the Fillmore
Mhm.
challenge first, right?
Yep.
Alright, I just gotta remember how to get the script running and all that. Sorry, give me a second.
I know you said Fillmore, but I heard Thumb War. And I think that would be a more entertaining show.
They never made a game based on Thumb War, did they? Thumb War game.
Yeah, not even as like a side minigame.
I think there's
Like the
even an
Alex
arm
Kidd.
wrestling game, but no Thumb War game.
Alex Kidd. Rock, paper. scissors. There's oops. My IRC client doesn't automatically complete names when I hit tab, and it makes me sad.
Do I have time to run to the bathroom real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
Alright. I will be right back.
I had some other hand-based menu in mind.
Getting a weird echo.
Yeah, like a robot echo.
Robot
Beep,
echo.
boop. My goal this year is to destroy the sun, burn out all human life forever. It's THC in chat. What is this, like a speedrun tournament?
Hopefully that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
This is exactly a speedrun tournament.
We'll do an introduction in just a moment.
Apparently, we invited all the bots today.
Wow.
Wow.
We got a lot of bots. We're in the big time now.
Yep, quality options, spam.
Alright, let me just queue up the ActRaiser soundtrack to play, and then we can get started with these matches.
Oh, but try your best Imperial Floral Assault group just came on.
Let's
The
go
Game
take
Boy
one.
Color.
There we go, there it is. Alright, so why don't I explain what's going on here. This is Speed Gaming League. This is our playoff tournament. What we do is for the past year and a half, and actually longer, I think we went almost close to 2 years worth of episodes finally getting up to this point, but now we're doing the playoff tournament, and we've taken 32 of our players and seeded them according to their rankings and put them into a big double elimination bracket tournament. So we're just in the first rounds of it right now. This is only the second episode of what we've done, and we've got 4 players here. These are all one-on-one matchups, but what we're doing is taking care of several of the matchups at a time here just to save some time. So I just put up the bracket that we're looking at today. It's going to be Scenic Reverie versus Scavenger and Nighty versus Nomad. And then the winners of each of those matches are also paired against each other, as well as the losers of those 2 matches in the losers bracket, which isn't shown there. And so what we're going to do is determine the outcomes of 4 of these matchups today based on the relative times of these 4 players, how each of these players does relative to each other, in a set of 3 games. So it's going to be ActRaiser, Mega Man 7, and then back to ActRaiser again with a different goal, a different set of levels. And the way it works is these players have 30 minutes to make as many attempts as they can of the goal that we've given them, which in this case is going to be Fillmore Act 2 and Bloodpool Act 1. Each time they complete a run, you'll see their splits at the bottom. They will upload that run to our servers, and our official timing referee, Arcano. How you doing, Arcano?
Doing good. How you doing?
Awesome, doing great. Arcano is going to play those runs back and measure the exact timing down to the frame. So once he's done that, the times will appear in this box that you see in the middle of the screen. And at the end of 30 minutes, the best times from each of the players determines how well everyone placed in this match. And so we'll do that 3 times, and each of these matchups is a best 2 out of 3 situation. So we'll see how that goes. I think, let's see, looks like everyone's got their scripts up and running. Is everyone here? Back from the bathroom or back from getting a drink or whatever. Alright.
I'm sorry, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. Okay, and Nighty's here, and
Split it.
looks like Nomad's playing, so he must be here.
And Zenik is here.
Zennik's here. Nice. Cool. Well, then, without further ado, let's start this match off. I'm gonna count you guys down. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yay!
And here we go. So this is ActRaiser for the Super Nintendo. This was a very early Super Nintendo game. One of the first ones released. I seem to remember that the boxes for the original releases of the Super Nintendos showed a bunch of games on the back, and this, I believe, was one of them. So I think it was pretty early on. They are playing normal mode. There's like a normal mode and a professional mode. Professional mode is sort of like this, except you don't get any magics or any upgrades or anything like that. You just go through with the lowest amount of everything. It's kind of difficult, but you don't have to do any of the sim sections. You just do all the action platforming sections. But they're playing a normal mode, which means that normally you would have an action level and then a sim level, which is sort of like a Sim City kind of thing, where you're building up a city and fighting off enemies and using spells, and then you go into another action sequence at the end of that to fight the boss of that world, and then you move on to the next one. So for each of these goals, what these guys are doing is they're doing just 2 back-to-back action sequences, since the sim sections are not quite interesting enough for the time frame that we've got for this show.
Yeah, they have their own. Like they're not. You wouldn't think a speedrun of a simulation thing would be a thing, you know. But it totally is.
Yeah, there's a lot of
own
tech to it. Yeah, a lot of things about the mechanics, because it doesn't really give you much information about what's happening behind the scenes in there, but people have sort of figured out the algorithms. There's an excellent FAQ that explains all kinds of stuff that you could have played this game dozens of times and never realized about the mechanics of the way the sim sections work. But as far as that's going to impact us today, what happens is in these sim sections, you earn experience by growing your population and by doing various tasks to uncover items like spells or extra charges of your spells, either like different spells you can use or additional uses of those spells, and it also increases your health. So I gave these guys quite a strong population, as big as I could get the population coming in here, so they should have the most health that they can get. A speedrun, a true any percent speedrun of this would probably have the star magic here, but they don't. In this goal, they have the fire magic. They'll have the star magic for the next goal, but that's what the speedrun uses to really wreck the bosses. It's a pretty overpowered magic. Fire can do a lot of damage, but you gotta get in real close and make sure that the boss is right in the trajectory of the flames if you want to get multiple hits.
Yeah, unfortunately, the star magic is it's random, kind of where the actual projectiles appear on screen, and so for some bosses, they're big enough and they get into the right spots that it actually consistently will do a whole bunch of damage. But there are some other bosses that have some pretty small hitboxes, and sometimes the magic, you know, completely whiffs, and that sucks. It's kind of sucks for a competition like this, but it seems over the course of the amount of times you use it and the amount of tries you get, I think the randomness kind of evens out. I think it's fair to put it in here. And you definitely don't want to do these, like the players would probably rather do these bosses with the magic than without. It's, some of these fights can be pretty long without magic.
Alright, so I finished a run, but like last time, I kind of forgot to split one of the times.
Did you upload it eventually?
Yeah, I
Okay.
uploaded it. I
It's
just
just the
forgot
splits are
to
gonna be wrong.
split. Yeah, exactly.
Alright. Until you get your
Yours-
next run in,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
going to be pretty soon.
Well, your split happens to be the same as 90's pretty much. But if it's off, then it's not as close as it looks. Darn.
We'll know in a minute. Arcano is
Yep.
hard at work at getting these runs timed.
Alright, got a really terrible run, but I just wanted to have something in.
That's great. Get something on the board.
Yeah, died once on that run.
I don't think we've talked too much about the movement mechanics of this this platforming section, but it's a little weird. This knight dude is a little stiff in ways that these players are not really making him look. For one, you only have air control if you do a neutral jump, which is not holding one of the horizontal directions. Then you can shift back and forth in the air as you want, but if you're holding a direction, when you jump, you cannot go backwards. You just can fall straight down. So that's a little awkward. Also, depending on when you swing your sword, you can get like a height boost, like a pretty significant boost. But it's like, it seems to be on a very small window and otherwise doesn't do anything. Luckily, I don't think there are any spots where it makes a huge difference in this goal. But if there are tight jumps, you can throw an attack out there near the peak of your jump, and it might make it a little easier. And we've also got these attacks with this huge arc to them, which is very nice. You're going to see them hitting bosses kind of above and behind almost in some of these other goals. It's pretty cool. You also have a crouching attack with a different hitbox that extends out further and lower down. But it seems to actually be a slower attack than the regular standing attack.
There's some funny things with the timing of the sword because it takes a second to swing, much like swinging the whip in Castlevania. So you kind of have to time that a little bit, especially if you're trying to jump and hit something. I think that's a kind of a neat thing. I mean, it's always consistent, so it doesn't ever feel particularly loose.
And we're not hearing the sound effects, unfortunately, but it's got this, like, I can't tell if it's the sound of the sword or him going, ha! But yeah, you get this, ha, 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 with every single swing. So when you really get in a rhythm and get the sword swings going, it's pretty fun.
It's a lot of ha 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 ha.
Yeah, he's having a good time swinging that sword. In this first level, they take a route that the speedrun normally does not. They go for this sort of top route rather than a bottom route. It's slower, but it's part of the goal. We have them go there and pick up a health pickup, just to kind of mix things up a bit, and also make a extend the goal out a little longer.
Ark, I've got Nomads and 90s run.
I finished the first one then.
I just entered Nomads.
Also, there's this climb section, which it's pretty hard. A lot of the jumps you have to make are super tight, and any one of them alone would kind of, it'd just be a little bit of a thing. But they expect you to do it like 4 times in a row, and not only that, but also back and forth, left to right, left to right. So you end up, it ends up becoming pretty precise. Normally, a speedrun does a nifty little wall clip zip thing right up the whole thing. You get an enemy just hit you into a wall, and I don't know if it's as simple as that, but you get into the wall and you just start jumping, and you jump up the wall all the way to the top. Super fast, super easy, and super banned for this goal, so they have to do the climb legit. But yeah, often you make the jump by like a pixel, and then if you have to turn around and jump, it's probably
Damn
frame
it.
perfect or close to it to not slide off.
Oh!
Of course, you could jump before you press the horizontal direction, but then you might not have, you might not clear the jump. So not a lot of leeway on the jumps at all, going either way. But we're getting some completed runs here. Everyone seems to be moving pretty good. Damage boosting is, well, you're not really usually doing it to get a boost forwards. It's very, very, very minor. You're often doing it just because it's slower to actually kill something, or because you want the invincibility frames to do something later on. It's not a big deal in this goal, but later on, and definitely in certain other levels of the speedrun, damage boosting becomes a huge thing, where you end up down to 1 health in certain sections, just running into enemies intentionally. You also want a decent amount of health for this boss fight, because avoiding damage is pretty hard. Luckily, you do have invincibility frames when you use the magic, so you can time your magic usage when his attack comes out. But if you don't kill him with before you run out of magic, then you're definitely going to take a hit or two. He's a little. I think he's totally random where he comes down. So he might hit you on the way down from the ceiling. You definitely want to have some health to kind of tank through that boss a bit. Seems everyone's nailing the 2-cycle on him pretty well, though. It looks like people have got some pretty clean, optimized runs in. I'm seeing people resetting over some somewhat small mistakes. It's not possible to turn around in the air, so you can't do any fancy turnaround damage boosts like in something like Mega Man, where you jump into something, turn around at the last minute, so you get the backwards boost is sending you forwards instead. Fortunately, you can't really do that, but you can turn around before you jump, and then do a neutral jump and aim backwards and get it that way. It comes in handy in a couple of spots in the speedrun. Maybe we'll see it put to use in the next goal.
Okay, that was a lot better. Because I didn't die, basically.
Yeah, minus 30 seconds. Pretty good. Yeah, unfortunately, Nomad was not able to put in the practice time for this week. Sometimes things come up. Sometimes you gotta make do with what time you have. So plus these other guys are good and they practiced. So it's when you're up against Nighty, Zenik, and Scavenger at their best, you're not gonna be able to walk in with without any practice and really stand up next to them. So this is ActRaiser is definitely going to be tough for Nomad. We'll see how he does in Mega Man after this, though it seems he was not doing so well with that one either.
See, I'm just waiting until you get some Genesis games on there, then we'll see what's up.
Yeah, we've been trying to get Genesis games for a long time.
That's what I grew up with. That's all the games I know how to play. And at least, like, I don't know, types and control schemes.
Yeah, luckily
There are a lot of Genesis games that I think would be really interesting on this show. Maybe because I just haven't seen a speedrun of them, and I would like to see it.
Oh, I can't wait to introduce people to Chaikin the Forever Man. It will eat your soul. I speedrun it.
Just seeing J-Man do some glitch hunting in that a while ago, where he got an infinite jump.
Oh yeah, that's been around for a bit, as well as another thing that he's used as well, which is the roll bounce jump, which is a frame perfect thing. Essentially, when you're rolling like off of a platform, you can jump out of it, but there's only about 4 frames among all the frames where you can actually do it. Yeah, but it's vital to the game, and what's really crazy is, alright, so, like, Golem Buddy was doing some testing, just some recording testing on it, and he was looking at the demos that run when you just let the game go. They do the roll bounce in the demos. So apparently, it's a frame perfect move is a part of the game. It's just there. Though we did find out that if you use the jump magic, it's no longer frame perfect. You can jump out of a roll at any time. So that's a bizarre glitch. Also, while we're at the last SGDQ, well, not this last one, but the one I intended last, we found another glitch where there's this one creature that kind of grabs you and then pushes you back through the level. And we found if he grabs you in a certain way, you can get super speed. Like super ultra fast sonic speed. It's actually a really cool glitch. It's only available in like 2 levels where this certain enemy is.
Yeah, anything that moves your character in unique ways is typically ripe for some sort of glitch. I was accosted by some raccoons just now on my back porch. Heard some sounds out there. I thought someone wanted in, so I opened the door and I realized they've knocked over the recycling can out there. And I didn't actually see them, but I know they're there. So I slammed the door shut. Stupid things. They're just completely desensitized. They think you're more likely to give them food than hurt them.
They're really smart. It's too bad that they get rabies so easily. Otherwise, they'd make great pets.
I imagine they'd be destructive.
And cats aren't. And dogs aren't.
Not quite to the same degree, I think.
You haven't had the cats I've had.
I've had some dogs. I mean, puppies are destructive, yeah. Rabbits are destructive. That never changes. They chew everything forever.
Well, they're a rodent basically, aren't they?
I suppose so.
Which means their teeth keep growing and they have to chew. Interesting. It was interesting. I learned whenever I was keeping rats for a minute. But yeah, their teeth keep growing, so they constantly have to chew on stuff, or else their teeth will just grow through their brains.
Jesus. Yeah, well, these raccoons. Well, no, raccoons are not rodents, but they gotta find somewhere else to chew nonetheless.
What's really crazy is they've got these, like a lot of rodents and similar animals, they've got these little claw hands where they kind of have a thumb and they can just pry stuff open,
Oh,
like-
yeah, they're real good at getting open garbage can lids. We had
Yeah.
bungee cords that were pulling the thing down, and they would pry off the bungee cords, push the thing over to knock off the big rock we put on top of it, and then get in there.
Pretty
We're
smart.
real good at that. Yeah.
Could probably teach him to speedrun. They're so clever.
Probably teach them to speedrun better than me.
Your record just got taken by a raccoon.
In its defense, it was a smart raccoon.
Well, got some pretty close times for the top three at least. Only a few seconds separating them. Looks like people are sort of converging on the low 254 or 250s rather. I think we're going to see. I don't know if we're going to see anyone get into the 240 range but we might. We might. Nighty just gets a run in. I didn't catch what the time was. Let's see. 257 he's down to.
I think his splits are a little...
Might be a little off.
Yeah, I think he might actually be a little lower than he appears.
Well, we'll see. He's got to beat a 256 to get into second.
Yep, we'll find out. I guess it's fair to say there's a lot of little optimizations that you can make. That's where all these seconds are coming from. I was gonna say it's mostly about, like not making a major mistake, running into an enemy, taking a hit, missing a jump. But anytime you have vertical platforming where you need to be jumping as soon as you land, there's frames to be lost and gained on every single one of those jumps.
Speaking of that, how is the jumping in this game? Can you control the height effectively?
No, you can't control the height. But if you do a neutral jump by not holding a horizontal direction, you have control over your character side to side. But if you do jump in a direction, holding back only makes you fall straight down. You don't actually get to
Right.
move left.
So you sort of have air control in that you don't have to keep jumping forward, but you can't turn around and go the other direction. Yeah, that was, I think, what was tricky for me getting the hang of it. In some of these platforming sections, you want to have full air control, so you've got to get used to stopping your forward momentum, neutral jumping, and then switching, back into holding forward if you want to be able to do some waggly back and forth jumps, which is kind of necessary in a few of these sections, like what you see Scavenger going through right here, these small platforms. There's a little bit of back and forth, some direction changing. So I should point out that the route that they're taking right now, you see Scavenger right now is getting that half apple right there. There's really two ways you can go through this level, and one way is much faster than the other, but we've got the guys going the slower way, so it's something that you're not going to see in speedruns, so it's a little bit something new. Players have a chance to make up their own strats there, and I think it makes the goals a little bit longer, adds some more meat to them.
Yeah, it's also harder, I think, in addition to being longer.
It's yeah, because normally you just go once you fall down into the water area, you just go straight right, and it takes you over to that skeleton mini boss pretty much directly. Versus doing all that, jumping on the small platforms and making your way around. Plus, it's nice to get some health to get that free health pickup.
Yeah.
The half apple doesn't give you too much, but it's still something.
3 bars or something.
Yeah, it's something. It's pretty small considering how much health. You don't really need all that much health to beat this boss. Scab just did it with more than half his health left. Go on.
So it's like, why does only half an apple give that much life, and like a whole apple? I mean, what is it about a whole apple?
I was gonna say, it must be like an old half apple.
Or someone ate the good half and just left the bad half.
Yeah. It's been in that statue for a while.
I mean, that makes sense. Once you open up an apple, they start to turn brown and kinda nasty. Yeah.
That's why you keep them inside these pillars.
Am I crazy, or is there some kind of sword attack power up? You get like a shockwave sort of thing?
Oh, there is. There's a beam sword. It's something that you pick up from one of these pillars. I don't think you get it from the sim sections. And I don't think it's a permanent upgrade. I think it may only last for the level. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, there is a beam sword that you can get.
This poor mini boss. You just show up, whack him 6 times, and he's just gone.
Yeah, I have literally practiced this game for about an hour. I thought I'd be better, not. Yeah, it's like life comes up,
Yeah, sure. You thought you'd have a natural affinity for ActRaiser?
Yeah,
you never know.
Else it's gonna be magic.
It's like, wow, this feels like I should have been doing this my whole life. Weird.
It's like you're a star, Magic.
Not terrible at it. I'm just definitely not very optimized at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's not even that it's all that dangerous. It's just that you gotta really know. You just gotta really plan things out. And there's a few of these projectiles that I'm not even sure if they're random. Are the pillars, those bone pillars or whatever you want to call them, are those random shots?
They seem to target you. They're definitely timed and they seem to target you. Well, at least within 8 directions.
Oh, you can manipulate them though.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the last one in the vertical climb. You kind of hesitate in front of it for a second and get it to shoot right at you and then jump, and it leaves you unobstructed for the rest of the climb.
Huh.
Yeah, there was definitely some routing to be done in terms of figuring out which enemies it's okay to take a hit from and run through, and which ones it's faster to kill them, even though you stop for a second while you swing your sword.
Well, we still seem to be in a holding pattern here with about 1.5 minutes left on the clock. Got Scenic Reverie still in first with 254, Scavenger with 256, and Nighty with 257. Yeah, those are close enough times that any one run now could be the one that changes the places.
Everyone's resetting over the tiniest little things, though. I've even seen a couple players complete a run and have it be, plus 0.2 or minus 0.2, so it seems like coming up with a whole second or two here is actually going to be tall order.
Well, I mean, this is one of those mostly vertical. Well, the first level at least is a lot of vertical stuff. So anytime you have that, you know there's going to be frames to be saved just by a faster reaction on the jumps. But man, there's only so much that you can save that way. Alright, we are in now sudden death mode. Well, this is your last chance to reset before we enter sudden death mode. So if you're not happy with your run, reset now. And now we are in sudden death mode.
Seems like pretty much everyone is starting over. All together now, everyone.
Yep, we have almost a race.
Speaking of races,
Well, if anyone is interested in racing some ActRaiser 2, or ActRaiser 2, oh my gosh, no. If anyone's wants to race some ActRaiser 1, we are going to do a race of that after this, if there's interest.
yeah, it won't be too much.
No, it'll be a pretty short goal. I think we're just going to do up through, what's it, Bloodpool Act 1, so it'll be 3 action sections and 1 sim section, the shortest sim section.
Lecky wants to race ActRaiser.
Oh, does he?
Oh, he wants to race ActRaiser 2.
2, oh, okay.
Okay. But yeah, we wanted to, I mean, sometimes, you know, players watch, or not players, but, well, players of video games in general, I suppose, watch the show and they're like, this thing looks pretty cool, this game they're playing, you know, I wouldn't mind messing around for a little bit. But then they kind of go like, well, man, then I'd have to download a thing, and so they never do it, so we thought maybe having some races, getting everyone in, stirring up some interest.
Alright, well, we got a few runs finishing out this first boss. Looks like nobody is ahead of their splits after that boss. Although 90 is close to, I guess, +3 is better than nothing.
Yeah, my run's dead. I'm just finishing it, because why not?
You may as well. Looks like
Exactly.
Zenix's given up. 90's moving on. Nomad's got some green numbers passing that first boss. And he manages to skip the message from the people. Very good.
It's going to be really tough for 90 to come up with those 3.5 seconds in a level like this. This is the one where there's really not a lot of difference to be made. There's a bit of left-right going on, but you're doing a lot of hold-right for this level.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of left-right going on there, but it's for the most part just stay straight ahead. Perhaps some boosts to get past some of these enemies. Because they're not fighting the boss in this goal, the boss is a pretty tricky boss to do the speedrun strats on. Very tough to ask these players to do with just a week to practice the 2 goals. They don't really need to have much health left coming in here because they don't really need to fight the boss. But yeah, 90 manages to not beat his PB, so we're sticking with...
Got banged up a little bit.
Sticking with the placing that we have here on the PB board already. So it looks like Zenic Reverie is going to be the winner of this match. Scavenger in second, 90 in third. I'll update those on the brackets.
How does
This
that
is
work?
with-
Does me and Zenic both move on in the winner's bracket, or...
Alright, so we can't determine that until we've done all 3 matches. So it's going to be best 2 out of 3 between you and Zenic, and best 2 out of 3
Okay.
between 90 and Nomad. And then whoever wins the 90 versus Nomad match is compared against the person who wins the, Scavenger versus Zenic match. but it's based on the same 3 matches that you play. The same 3 games that you play.
Alright.
Sorry if that's hard to for me
Yeah,
to get across.
it's a weird. It's weird.
It's weird, but
I
it
know,
saves
it's
us
cool.
a lot
I get it.
of appearances. Like, people have pretty busy schedules, and could have to. I think it was like up to 11 times that you might have to appear to do a 32-person tournament with double.
Yeah, didn't you
elimination.
say you got it reduced to like 5 to 7 or
Yeah, it should
something
be
like that?
5 to 7 here, depending on which route you take through the winners and losers bracket.
Nice. Yeah. GG Zenik. That was I don't know how the hell you got a 254.
I
Insanity.
can't even tell. Just from watching everyone play, I don't think there was any one thing.
It's just little optimizations all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit over a second ahead of my time after the first stage boss and just choked it away in Blood Pool.
Alright, there we have it updated. So 1 point for Zenik, and 1 point for Nighty so far.
Now everyone's getting ready to switch over to Mega Man 7. Contrary to ActRaiser, instead of having a week to practice, they've only had 1 hour. So you're gonna see I was gonna say a different level of play, but that's a little mean, I think. I think the way I'm gonna phrase it is the way Fuzel phrased it once that I thought was pretty good, is that you get to see what a speedrun looks like at a different point on the learning curve.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, so that must have been a thing that I said.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but that sounds right. Yeah, exactly. So they are pretty early on. 1 hour into a game is not much. It's enough that you've gotten used to the controls a little bit and started to actually route some things out, but they certainly don't have everything memorized, and they don't have backup strats for when things go wrong, so there's going to be still some improvisation compared to if you were watching an actual record attempt or something like that, or somebody's been at the game for more than an hour.
And you're probably going to see a lot of little, what is the word I'm looking for? Basically, like, safer strats, because the real stuff, the real fastest stuff, is just too much to learn in an hour. So you compromise. That's the word. A bunch of little compromises. Rather than do a slide on this platform and jump out of it early, maybe I'll just walk across this one. That sort of thing.
I guess another way to look at it is the mystery games are sort of like a very first run at a new game you're learning, whereas the week-long runs are more of a like your second week of doing full runs or something like that.
Right, and you can learn a lot in a week, plus generally they're only learning about maybe 6 minutes worth of gameplay for the course of the week, so you should be able to get pretty deep into it as far as learning, some of the nuances and some of the really difficult strats, and challenging yourself with what kinds of things you put in the route. Whereas with the mystery match, it seems to be more about compromise and sort of making the best of what you've got in the time period that you have, knowing that everyone else is also in the same boat as you. So just what's going to win, in this situation, not necessarily the best route. Period. Just waiting for the players to get set up here. Oh, am I frozen again? Let me check.
Yeah, 90's frozen.
Alright.
Something's causing my split things to flash like crazy. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Huh, I don't see them flashing on this. Oh, I see it a little bit.
I see it on 90's screen a little bit too.
Or maybe it's just Mega Man.
Huh,
Is there like a lightning effect on the clouds down there or something? And what is...
I'm not sure.
It's the clouds cycle through white and light gray, so that's making it look like it's flashing. because the split thing is slightly transparent.
Yeah, that's true. It must be passing some threshold, which makes it seem like a big jump. Interesting. Alright, well, it looks like everyone's set up, and now I've got my end all ready here. So I'm going to put 30 minutes on the clock. Is everyone ready to go?
Give me 1 second, I'm sorry.
Sure.
I also think something that's kind of funny. I just was noticing that if you jump and die off the screen, you die before you hit the ground. It's like it actually pauses for a second while he has a little panic attack, and then just dies before he hits the ground, like whatever ground may be.
So it's extra slow to die that way.
Yeah, because you definitely pause if you fall off the screen.
Alright, I'm ready.
Man's just really upset that his paint got scratched.
Yep, can't stand the paint scratching. Gotta keep that coat fresh. You spend a lot of money on that clear coat.
Alright, so now is everybody ready?
Yep, I'm still ready.
Still ready? How about the other
Okay.
three?
I'm putting all my hope on ActRaiser.
You just already given up on this one? Alright, good. Cool. Okay, well then I'm going to count you guys down. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes, for those in the chat wondering, we have Nighty in the Skype chat. He's in the call, but he's not talking on the mic. He's the silent warrior of SGL.
Alright, so their goal here is to beat Cloudman stage. And they're doing this stage without any of the other boss weapons. This is this save state comes from a game that just went straight to Cloudman, so that's all they've got. I think we were talking earlier.
Platforms are messed up.
Yeah, the cloud platforms. So this is something that you're going to see coming into play later. Maybe we might see. We saw, well, Scavenger at least was trying for it. I don't know. I wasn't watching if anyone else gave it any attempts, but there's a fast way to do these cloud platforms that saves you a bit of time. You don't have to wait as many cycles, but it is pretty precise. So it may be the kind of thing where players will not go for it until they get down towards the end and they want to start taking some risks. I don't know, we'll have to see.
Yep, a really good example of the kind of thing we were talking about just before the match started. The sorts of compromises that players had to make with their 1 hour to learn Mega Man 7. I don't think we actually said that this is Mega Man 7.
Yeah, Mega Man 7, that's right. For the Super Nintendo. This is a classic Mega Man game, sort of, in that it's not a Mega Man X game. I guess if that's what classic Mega Man means.
Traditional Mega Man, there we go.
Yeah, it's the traditional Mega Man. He's got, he jumps, he shoots, he can charge, and he can slide, and it's sort of similar to the Mega Man mechanics that you're used to from the games that preceded this, but obviously much different look to it. Sprite-wise, just in terms of the art. They borrowed a lot of things. In this stage, we've noticed a couple things that appear to be borrowed from Airman stage. So clearly it's a nod to the older Mega Mans.
Yeah, it's really weird seeing the elements of Mega Man X that sort of start to emerge from this game. Like the style of sprite. I mean, I guess just because it was a Super Nintendo game, the sprites sort of would translate to have this aesthetic that is the same. But the design of this boss, Cloudman, he's interacting with the stage, and the room itself is Got a unique shape to it, not the kind of thing you typically see in the NES Mega Man's. Usually you get that one screen room, perfect little box. Maybe there's a couple platforms or something, but he definitely reminds me of Storm Eagle for sure.
Come on.
And I believe people were also mentioning Tengu Man.
Got one in.
Good start.
Looks like Mary's also
Someone-
got a run.
Yeah, worried about not finishing to be one of the first runs in. It's pretty good. But yeah, just the size of the sprite and the way it animates with the legs kicking way out as he runs. It's very much a Mega Man X looking game, but then the actual mechanics are
Come on.
pretty faithful to the first 6 games. You've just got the charge shot and the slide. No wall jumps, no dashes or air dashes.
Could you check Skype?
Fixed it. I made the same typo that I did earlier.
Oh yeah, could man.
Could man?
Could he though?
He could attack.
Could.
You don't
Oh,
know.
he most definitely will.
He could. It's
Got it.
more threatening than Cloud. Oh, here we go. Watch the scabs. Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah, it's hard to see just how much time it saves. Like it looks fast when you watch it, and you're like, of course it's faster. But skipping, waiting on that cloud as it goes all the way around, that is huge. So if he can follow through on this run here, this could be a winner already. Really putting the pressure on these guys, and maybe even to some degree forcing them to try it in the middle of a match, to figure out this really difficult thing and incorporate it into their runs. But they could also opt to just do the best they can with their original route and focus on beating the other 2 players.
Yep. Well, right now, Scavenger, having lost to Zinnik in the previous match that we did, is going to be pretty happy if he can get that advantage of getting the cloud skip. It really puts the pressure on Zinnik to come back and learn the same thing and do that, which I didn't see him practicing during the practice session, so I'm not sure if that's
Come
even
on,
an
I
option.
jumped that.
That's true. We were talking about like this boss is already dead, but this fight is a thing. It's not free. Yeah, there it is.
Slid when I tried to jump.
We haven't talked too much about the patterns of the boss. I mean, you can see his attacks and how they're pretty troublesome, especially the wind. That really sucks. But he's also invulnerable while he's doing the lightning attack. Whenever you see him kind of charged up with electricity, he's invincible.
Call down lightning every now and then, but only when he is hit by the lightning is when he's invincible, not when he's called down.
Yeah. And he's also unhittable with the Buster when he decides to stay up high. So anytime he's invincible or out of reach, you want to be charging your Buster so that you can hit him with the charge shot when he finally is vulnerable. Other than that, you just want to be pegging him as soon as his iframes are done. But he gives you so much to dance around. Like there's the lightning coming in 2 different forms, and then the wind is coming, and you're sliding through the wind to get closer, and then that means you need to. It changes the timing on your. You're adding another jump input to get out of the slide. Yeah. So staying lined up with him and getting those shots in at the end of his iframes every single time is tough, and it can even be tough to survive, as we've seen a couple times here.
How much time do we have left?
22 minutes.
Oh, we're still way earlier than I thought we were. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of told myself around the 10-minute mark I'm going to quit trying the quick cloud just to get a run finished.
Going back to some stuff that was said earlier, a lot of the bosses in this game are actually very unique and sort of, as you could say, tie into the X series. The mechanics of them alter the stages, or sorry, the boss rooms in very unique ways, and it
Got
feels
it
like
again.
they're a bit more in line with the more advanced mechanics from the X series bosses compared to the classic series bosses. All the
No.
stages are really well thought out as well. It's actually really nice to see the design through the X series.
He's working on the boss here with a -2. Oh, it just misses him before he goes up. But it still looks like this is going to be a great time. -22 seconds, wow. Just as Xenic comes in with a 238.
Mm-hmm.
Mighty
Lag
had
too
a
OP.
death on his first.
Oh, I see. Alright, so looks like the new order is going to be Nighty and then Xenic and then Nomad. The Scavenger's going to hold out until he gets the perfect run or runs out of time.
Well, I think he said after...
10 minutes. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
runs
which
out
is
of time for his
just
own
about-
deadline.
Yeah, the 10 minutes is just about to pass.
No, I
if
mean
that
like
was-
10 minutes
No,
remaining.
Oh,
left.
10
10
minutes
minutes left
left.
on the
Okay.
clock,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And honestly, the cloud skip isn't what's killing me.
Yeah, I'm seeing you struggle with some of these just early slide cancels. And these jumps from these green blocks with the fans are surprisingly tight. Mega Man's got a pretty wide hitbox down by his feet there. He's always been known for his toes sticking out and being strong enough to support his weight. And this game is no different. And you really need to get to the edge of your hitbox to cleanly jump between these blocks. Then you add sliding on top of it, and it's a thing you kind of can't even really use visual cues for it. I think it's almost the kind of thing where you just got to go by feel.
It's 100% feel.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that just doesn't come in an hour. That's the kind of thing that comes after weeks. Like in an hour, you can learn visual cues. All right, when I get to this point here, I'm gonna jump and then I'm gonna attack. But to really internalize it and make it your muscle memory and the second nature sort of thing does not come in an hour. So, I mean, that doesn't come easy in an hour. So struggling with that is it's a thing. We're going to see if Scav can overcome it. He is going for a lot of these slides that he doesn't have to, but he's looking for every single frame he can grab.
Got it again!
Wait for it. Let's see.
And then I immediately throw it away. Nice.
The invisible platforms. Yeah, we talked about this during practice and how for a regular speedrun, memorization is another thing that is tough to do in an hour. I mean, I guess I talked about how visual cues are not that hard, but you're really just memorizing visual cues, but memorizing the entire layout of a level.
I hate the slide mechanic. I've never liked it.
Yeah, I've always struggled with speedrunning any sort of.
I mean, this is a Super Nintendo controller. Map it to another button.
No, please God, no.
I mean, as long as it was a trigger button. Unless triggers are switch weapons.
Here's your switch weapon.
Alright, never mind then. I don't know. But yeah, I've never been comfortable with any sort of slide mechanic in any of
Close.
the Mega Mans. That was close. But yeah, the invisible platform section is trivial in a regular speedrun. You know where all those platforms are. You just know. And after an hour, you got a pretty good idea of where they are, but you don't know. You don't just know deep down inside that the platform is going to be there when you jump until it actually does appear. And so there's this sort of tension that builds up. Did I screw it up? Is it really going to be there? It makes it real easy to make mistakes there.
That's why, if you notice, that's the only part of the level I'm not sliding in.
Yeah.
Too early. Damn it, damn it, damn it. No. Why, Mega Man? Why? I might need to give it up. I don't want to, though.
Yeah, that's got to be a tough decision to make. You're only at the 15-minute mark. There's still some time.
Oh, okay.
He gets to the boss with a -1, but gets caught there.
Doesn't quite close the deal.
Yeah.
No man's coming to the boss here.
-8, pretty good, pretty good. Oh, they got Nintendo Land music on Rainwave. Awesome.
We're listening to the Mega Man 7 soundtrack currently.
Ooh.
Boo.
It's probably got pretty good music.
I think he was more booing Mega Man 7 in general.
Oh, okay. Oh, looks like the boss defeats Nomad.
Yeah, but that run was just a little over his PB anyway.
Yeah, at that point.
Got it again. Can I not immediately throw it away this time, please?
The next time you get it, you should just quietly do it.
Just don't even
I'm
tell
like
anyone.
more exclaiming it because I'm surprised myself that I got it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's still like a, oh my god, I got it type of thing. Have we mentioned how hard that is?
Yeah, basically there's 2 very precise jumps that you have to do. I think the second one's probably tighter than the first one, but both of them require you to basically jump at the right time. And you also got to be really on your slide game, canceling out of slides at the right time, sliding along as much of the platform as you can. Yeah, that fan section is tough. I guess those guys are on like a screen timer, because if you get through them cleanly, I mean, it doesn't look clean. You're running into them constantly, but if you get through there the way you intend, Their fans are blowing in such a way as to not blow you into a pit. And if you get held up, that's a thing that can happen because they flip their fans around and then start blowing the other way. Nighty comes in with a 2-second improvement. Raising the bar just a little higher.
Come on, dude.
Why did this round have to be Super Nintendo games? Literally the only system I never owned.
Well, I mean, when we gave the players a list of games to vote on.
They were all Super Nintendo games.
Oh, were they?
Yes.
Not
Well,
for the,
for
mystery
the
game,
mystery
sure.
game, yes. Because we need to stick with the same emulator. It just
Yeah.
makes things go smoother. But for ActRaiser, that one should have been a variety of different consoles.
Yeah, well, variety for us usually means mostly NES. With a few Super Nintendo and Game Boy.
Yeah, I think I put ActRaiser. I didn't vote for it high at all. Did not want that game.
Oh, well, it's, usually the top choices on anyone's list end up getting conflicted out or voted down.
We rated it pretty good, and everyone else rated it super good, so that's why that happened. But yeah, generally we don't want to give you guys games that you don't want to play. That sucks. That just straight up sucks.
Yeah. I mean, these aren't bad games. It's just that I didn't grow up on a Super Nintendo, and not having a chance to really practice them made it just worse.
So is there really something just kind of to a game being on the Super Nintendo that...
Can I please quit doing that?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I mean, the
absolutely.
controller definitely changes things.
Controller's completely different. The way you hold it is different. So like I can kind of mash on this because it's similar enough to an NES controller, but it's like any of the shoulder button using is just awkward to me. Luckily, these games haven't required that.
Yeah, these goals don't so much need that, but yeah, fortunately, I think the Super Nintendo and the NES have similar enough D-pads that it's not a problem, because that's really the main difference between all the systems. In the pre-analog stick days, it's really just how the D-pad was made. Like, I have a hard time on Genesis, just because it's got a very different kind of D-pad than the ones I'm used to. But I know people who play a lot of Genesis games, and they don't have any problem with it at all. It's really...
Yeah, I have no problem with it whatsoever.
Yeah, it's really just what you're used to.
Yeah, the controller I could see, but I wonder if there's something about the games themselves, just some kind of SNES quality that feels unfamiliar.
I think there is. I would
yes.
say that there is.
Super Nintendo games...
Sound chip, I guess, would be
yeah,
one.
the sounds, but I think the sprites on Super Nintendo games... the sprite versus the hitbox tends to be a little different. Like, SNES tends to have kind of puffy, oversized sprites with hitboxes that are, like, smaller than the sprites, or at least tough to tell from the sprite boundaries, and that's not quite the case in most of the NES games that I play. But then again, there's NES games with horrible hitboxes, so who knows? It might just be my imagination.
How much time's left?
7.5 minutes. Mega Man 7 is also laggier than the other NES Mega Mans. Than the NES Mega Mans, yeah.
It is.
That I can see.
I wonder how it compares to any of the Genesis ones, though. I wouldn't be surprised if those weren't terribly optimized.
Oh, there's some horribly laggy games. The game that I speedrun, Shaken. Oh, it's every other frame is a lag frame. If you're in gameplay.
Yeah.
If you pause, if you pause the menu, you get no lag. But if you're in the game, it's all lag frames.
Yeah, it's basically 30 frames a second. I was looking at Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout, and that game basically every other frame is a lag frame for some reason. It gives it this weird jittery feel to it.
Yeah, that was the case with Hide Glide. I remember that it was like 2 out of 3 frames were lag frames. And I think the reason was that it was a port from some other system, and they just threw in a bunch of like busy waiting in order to like slow the game down, just so it would run at the right speed. I think that must have been the issue.
Like it just like adds a number
Just
again.
add
and
a
again
bunch of lag just to get it to slow enough that it's at a playable speed.
Nice. I remember having to do that in one of my programming classes in high school because we only know what they teach us. So they didn't teach us
really?
a delay command. So if there was anything we ever wanted to do with timing, it would just be like, do math for a little bit. Take some time.
Looks like Scavengers lost a run that had gotten past the cloud platforms and down to 5.5 minutes, so it's getting kind of risky to be going for it.
Yeah, he's moving really well on these platforms with the slides. So this 0 on the board here is really not indicative of where he's at skill-wise. But at the end of the day, you gotta make it happen. You gotta put it all together.
Makes the platform skip again like it's nothing.
Shit! Sorry.
Oh, there it goes.
Come on. Oh, lag frames. Can't jump.
Meanwhile, Nighty is getting some really solid times. He's already sitting at a 219, and he's come into this boss basically even with his PB.
He's doing a good job of staying on top of him. Getting these shots in with the iframes. Should be last shot here, yep. Not quite a PB, but very consistently here with some good times.
Damn it.
Yep, 221, just a little bit short of it.
Alright, next round that I play, I am putting any SNES games in the last slot, because I do not want to play SNES games again.
Alright.
Or you could play a whole bunch of them and get real good at them.
Well, the thing is, I didn't grow up playing it at all, ever. And even, like, later on, I don't own a SNES now.
A whole bunch. Like a whole childhood's worth. Just start
Start your second childhood right now with the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Adulthood
I'll just
is way
wait
to
until you got Genesis, then I'll school people then.
Alright.
Because I know not everybody had a Genesis.
That's definitely
That's
true.
true.
It's like Sonic runs are insane. I love them because they just require ridiculous timing to know when to bounce and get the quick kills in on like some of the bosses.
I like the quick spin dashes. The input on those is pretty weird.
Shit. Pickups Y.
Now all these
I'm
drops.
dead. Maybe not. I have like no health for the boss though.
It's going to be real tough to make this happen with low health. One of the ways you can keep on top of Cloudman and keep landing hits in when his iframes are up is by taking some hits. Jumping into something you know that's going to hit you, but you get to get a hit in on him, sort of trading hits. And sure enough, doesn't last long there against Cloudman.
Really?
One minute left. Nighty seems to be bumping up against a ceiling here. Comes in with another run in the low 220s.
Very consistent. Alright, gentlemen, it's time to decide if you're going to reset or not, because we're having last call. And no more resets past right now.
Come on!
That was a real good run. But it's not over yet, depending... Well, no, that spawn point is pretty bad.
Yeah, you go back there.
If you were on that same screen, that probably would have just eaten up the early cloud.
Well, he went for broke. Tried the ballsy strats.
Okay, that's it.
So it's on Zenik to try to catch Nighty. He's got to make up 18 seconds in this boss fight. And it looks like he's on his way to a PB, but not going to make it quite there.
Now down to 219. But yeah, there we go. Zenik takes another 2.5 seconds off his time. Very nice. I think Nighty's run also finished. So yeah, that looks like that's it for match 2 here. Nighty comes out on top with a 219. Zenik Reverie gets a 236 for second place, and Nomad gets third place with a 304.
I'm sure that Scavenger's not happy with that, but I think he was playing really well.
Yeah, congrats to everybody. That was some really good routing. Yeah, excellent routing and execution.
Watch, I'm gonna finish the first run after time's over now.
124, you're 8 seconds ahead of 90. This is basically the definition of the salty run back.
Alright, I'm just getting the bracket set up for the next one here. Zenik first.
Cloudman's really giving it to him, though.
Ah, one hit left. Ah, man.
That would have been really close.
Rip. Rip. Rip.
So what? Is it too? Is it too early to say what the overall?
I think it is not too early for that. I'm just getting it updated on the board. "32, 24, 16, and 15.
You know, MTI, I'm not even sure where I found this GIF. But I know when I found it, it was my favorite of all time. I'll put it on... Yeah, I'll just throw it on like a Imgur or something.
Did Nighty beat Zenik in the first match as well?
No.
Zenik
don't
outright
think
won
so.
the first match, I thought.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah.
You had the 54.
So they're still 1-1. Those two, right? Oh my gosh, I screwed this up. I screwed up everything.
That's fine. I'm totally capable of talking about
Yeah, give me a moment.
Wait, we already talked all about ActRaiser.
I already
I'm
talked about it.
perfectly capable at talking about cute cat gifs. This one's pretty strong. I'm not a fan of the way it says I'm Samus at the start.
Too much?
Yeah. It could have just been like. Yeah, I think you could have left that out pretty much.
It would have been pretty obvious without.
Yeah.
It's a very strong gift, though, either way. Oops, we gotta reset this. Alright, so the guys are getting set up for ActRaiser again. And so here's what our brackets look like so far. Looks like, because we're only going 2 out of 3, we know the outcomes of the first level of matches here. Zenik Reverie beats Scavenger 2-0, and Nighty beats Nomad 2-0. Now in the second stage here, the winner of Zenik Scavenger is Zenik versus Nighty, who is the winner of the Nighty Nomad matchup, are both 1-1 against each other because one match from each of them. So this is going to decide who advances to the next round in the winner's bracket and who gets moved down to the loser's bracket. Meanwhile, the losers of the first level matchups here, Scavenger and Nomad, are paired up
Also
against each
1-1.
other. But Scavenger has already beaten Nomad 2 out of 2 games, so 2-0. So we already know that.
No, well, he didn't have a time on Mega Man and Nomad
Oh wait,
did,
hold
right?
on a second. I'm looking at the wrong one. They're still 1-1. That's right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be the one to do this. I'm sorry. They're still
So this
1-1.
third match is the decider of both of these last 2 brackets here.
I was looking at the wrong entry here. Yeah, that one's still 1-1, and this, yeah. So both the losers bracket and the winners bracket one that we're looking at right now are still 1-1. Never mind. So it's still anybody's game.
Well, Nomad has got a lot less practice under his belt than Scavenger, so it's going to be real tough for him to come up with a win here. But I think the battle between Nighty and Zenik Reverie should be pretty good.
I don't know, I could end up not finishing a run again.
That is the thing. Well, this is a little more. I think it's a little less risky. I guess you can go nuts with the damage boosts.
The boss
But,
is a bit,
all of those
takes a
slide
while.
cancels on all those platforms. Any one of them can go wrong, and it's just a run ender.
Mhm.
At least I pulled off the cloud skip a few times, I guess.
Quite a few times. It looked like that wasn't even the most tricky part of the run for you. Although I guess it is kind of a big bottleneck because you have to keep resetting when you don't get it.
The last screen before the boss was the real problem spot I was having. Trying to stay on the fan cycle properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's tough. You have to get hit like 5-6 times or something to get through all of them. And you screw up a little bit and they start blowing the other direction. It makes it impossible to jump across. Yeah. So then, because you're not killing them, you need to take a whole bunch more damage while you wait for the fans to flip over again. It's a bad scene.
Indeed.
Alright, I think I'm all set up on my end. Are you guys back into the ActRaiser mode? Acclimated to ActRaiser again?
Of course.
Of
Always.
course, always ready for it. Very positive. I like it.
I am literally a statue that came to life.
Yeah, that's how this works, actually.
Mm-hmm.
You play as the master, I believe, but you're basically God.
You're basically God, and in these levels, there are these statues everywhere that you just send down your life force into.
You know, what's interesting is, the game Soul Blazer is a sequel to the ActRaiser 1 and 2, where your statue guy gains a soul permanently. And that's kind of the point of that game.
Interesting.
It is this knight. It is this knight, one of these knights brought to life, but he's gained a soul separate from the master. And, yeah, adventure from there.
Huh, interesting. This game has some pretty complicated story, but it involves something about the power of the deity was like it was lost because everyone decided they were just going to stop believing in him, and then for like a long time there was just nothing, and the world descended into chaos, and then suddenly I forget what was the tipping point, but something suddenly got him back in the game again, and now he's trying to reclaim the land which has been ravaged by monsters.
Alright, the trilogy was Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, and Terranigma, but Soul Blazer specifically is linked to this game. The guy in that game is this statue guy.
Cool.
Yeah, somebody just brought up, the Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, Terranigma thing, which those are all great games. Very imaginative, very creative games. It's like, I may not have had a Super Nintendo, but I know a lot about the games.
Yeah, it's hard to be a video game fan and not come across a SNES game or two. Definitely. I think I might put it as the best console.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Ooh, you want to start that?
I'm gonna have to agree with Mythical.
I'm gonna have to go with Intellivision. Intellivision.
Okay.
I'd say it's a toss-up
Camp
between
Intellivision.
this and NES.
And the CDI. Intellivision or the CDI? See, the Intellivision, it had like a voice thing you could get that was extra. It had a whole 3 games that worked with it.
I think NES, though, that was the system that was the master of making peripherals that never got used again.
U-Force?
Yeah.
U-Force anybody?
I don't know, I'd say the Genesis was pretty close.
Alright.
The Activator.
The Activator, where you could punch or kick in weird directions and it'd do random stuff.
Have we started yet?
Sometimes.
We haven't yet.
No.
But I think we're about to. Is everyone ready to go?
I am.
Yes.
The kill time conversation spiraled out of control.
sure did.
Not the first time it's happened on this show.
So
Alright.
this is
We are
ActRaiser
ready
for the
to play some
Intellivision.
games.
Zenith's
Oh, man.
ready. Nighty's ready. Cool. Well, I'm going to count you guys down. 3, 2, 1, go. And they're off. Clock is running.
Back to ActRaiser.
Back to
This time
ActRaiser.
it's Itos.
It's Eidos and
yeah.
something with a K.
No, that's the desert one.
Oh.
This is
Hold on.
Mandara. Mendoza.
Eidos and Marhana.
Yeah,
Marhana.
Marhana. Like, well, it's like piranha. You don't pronounce the H. It's not a hard
I do.
H. I guess you can. If you'd be wrong, but you could do that. Yeah, sure. And what's different about this goal is the names are totally different.
Right.
And this is, I think you're going to see a lot more damage boosting. I mean, if you look at 90's screen,
You've got a lot more health to deal
was
with.
down to 1 health just before he grabbed that health refill. There's just so many enemies, and it's slow to kill them. So use your health; it's a resource, and just run right through them. You got to pick which ones. Nomad hasn't had much time to practice, so he's trying to damage boost through these sort of lava mines that pop up, and it's not working out too good for
You
him.
can occasionally. I got it in the very first one I was going.
Yep, you can.
So I forgot where we're supposed to split.
Oh, let me check that for you.
You can look that up.
It's never that.
just when the act clear screen appears.
Yeah.
Or when the
The
act clear
second
text.
one?
Both of them, yeah. It's the same.
Oh, so we're only using 2 splits then?
Yes, that's right.
Oh yeah, press N to change the number of splits, and it's probably going to give you 4 instead of 2, which means you need to press it a whole bunch of times to cycle it back around to 2.
Hey, somebody in chat
Or
mentioned one of the Intellivision voice games, B-17 Bomber. Yep, it was one of the very, very few. One of them was this, I can't remember the name of it, but it was this game where you defused bombs. Maybe it was just Bomb Squad.
It's awesome.
But yeah, so it would like get frantic and start talking at you while you're trying to disarm the bomb. Worst use for a voice modulator ever.
Oh man,
It's
Scanner just got to go all out at this boss.
Yeah, he didn't pick up the health,
Nope. But he might still.
he's
Oh, he's
okay.
what a clutch finish. Yeah, he missed picking up the health drop, the one that Zenik just got a moment ago. But he got to that boss, and because you have that invincibility while the magic is going off, he only took 1 damage in that whole fight.
yeah, I think he knew that was possible, and that's why he just went ahead and just went for it.
Or maybe because going back would be just as bad as dying.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
maybe both. But we got a run in from 90 already. Marana act clear. Just under 3 minutes. Nothing if not consistent.
Yeah, the bar's been set now.
So this fire level sucks. There's all kinds of enemies, and the lava pits are instant death. So that's why you're seeing a lot of damage being taken. But the other level is a little more forgiving. It looks like.
Yes, it seems so. This level, if you can do the wall jump glitch, there's actually a shortcut that you can take. Rather than going through the screen transition here, you can actually just go over the wall and not do any of that running back to the left and then to the right business that you do once you get inside the ruins. But that glitch is banned in this goal. I think that's something that's doable in real time, though. Like an actual speedrun might do that.
Yeah, PJ does it in his professional mode run. I'm pretty sure you just kind of face backwards and get hit. Maybe there's a little more to it, but
Yeah, sometimes we exclude tricks from the rules just because we want to make it so that the players don't have to learn anything really ridiculous within a week's time. And other times we leave out tricks just because we want to make the goals a little bit longer. We don't want them to skip too much, just for the sake of having more gameplay. And this is more of the latter. I don't think that it's a hard trick to do necessarily, or to learn to do, but you know, we want to get as much gameplay as we can here. Alright, 90's time just shows up as a 257.9, so he's quite a bit under 3 minutes.
Zenik comes in with a 301, and these two facing off against each other is one pairing that we're going to be
That's right.
we're going to be looking at for this
Zenik
final
versus
match here.
90. There he is. And then the other pairing is going to be Scavenger versus Nomad, who are both 1 and 1.
And that's only because Scavenger didn't put in any of his runs, which any of his runs would have beaten mine. Literally, any of his runs would have beaten mine.
Well, he's playing aggressively, going after the first place time. So I don't know if we've mentioned this yet. We didn't mention it during this match, I don't think, but this is random what this star magic is going to do. It will make these little shooting stars appear on the screen, but the position of them is completely random, and you're just going to have to deal with the fact that sometimes you can kill them in one use of it, sometimes 2 uses, sometimes even 2 isn't going to be enough. If you were speedrunning the full game, that would be a source of much annoyance, because you're relying on that star magic for all the bosses. So you'd probably be resetting over not getting good star magic RNG. In this, that might also be the case, but they don't lose as much when the star magic doesn't give them a good pattern.
Yeah, it's I feel like with enough attempts and enough uses, given the 2 bosses, the randomness starts to sort of even out a little bit.
Yeah, you give yourself enough attempts, and it's not going to be too bad, because you only got 2 bosses that you have to get through, as opposed to, a full game run where you got to get good luck on all of them. Plus, I don't think the sword is going to be that much slower. I mean, if you get really terrible luck with the star magic, and it doesn't do much damage at all, then that's bad, but you can clean up with a few sword hits if you don't get as good star magic as you were hoping.
Yeah. It can whiff really hard on this plant boss, though.
The plant boss, yeah, I didn't even use star magic on that when I was testing this goal. I think
it seems like the players are opting not to do that. Maybe they'll save it if they get backed into a corner by the vine and they're low on health or whatever, but everyone seems to have valued the consistency of the sword.
Yeah, the problem is the plant boss's hitbox is kind of small, and it's over on the very edge of the screen. It's just not much hits it.
Yeah, the star magic has some limitations as to where it can actually appear, so certain spots on the screen are more heavily favored for sure. So especially on this wheel boss is right where you want it to be for this star magic, and you'll typically see it take, a third to it, half its health bar per cast.
Mm-hmm.
The big hitbox helps for sure.
Yeah, it was kind of a tough decision to decide how many spell charges to give these players, but 2 seemed reasonable. I didn't want to give them just 1, because then if somebody, uses their one and only star shot and it, completely wrecks the boss, then it's just going to be, the top run because of luck. So at least with 2, you have another chance to, you don't have to rely on one of them doing all the damage. I feel like 2's got a pretty good enough chance of hitting the boss enough times that you can just finish it with the sword and do it quickly.
God! Hate this level.
Nighty's getting
Oh.
pretty aggressive with some of these damage boosts. I mean, everyone is, but seen him do some particularly brazen stuff so far. Perhaps that's because he's already got a good run on the board. I think there's at least one spot. There, Nighty just did it. This spot here, all 3 of those jumps over those lava pits, you can speed up by making sure you turn around before you jump, do a neutral jump, and back up into the enemy to get the boost backwards, which is actually forwards. It's a lot of complicated input for a very minor time savings, but it is a time savings nonetheless. So it looks like now that he's got a time on the board, he's going to be going for some stuff like that. And it's also really early on, so when you screw it up, you get that reset. It's not too bad.
Looks like I found a bug in the program here. Looks like there's two. It shows 2 number 2s on the screen. That's not right. Whoops.
Oh,
Someone's gonna get fired over that.
Maybe... No.
No, don't make excuses for my bad programming.
I was gonna say maybe it's pairing them up. You know, we have 2 separate matches of
Nope.
one-on-ones going on.
Not that
It's like,
advanced.
no.
let me see if I can.
I was like, the only way that could possibly be true is if you just forgot that you implemented that feature.
No, alright if I did. Or if it was a frame perfect tie and we didn't realize it. Oh, sorry about that. We'll have to just ignore it.
Oh wow, Nighty takes out the wheel in 1 cast. See, you can use it, use the invincibility frames as it rolls through you, but it puts it in a different position. Nighty opted to actually get hit and then use it on the floor, and that sort of widened the amount of area that the stars hit. It's a really bad way of putting it, but he increased his chances of doing more damage with the meteor magic by using it where he did, and it paid off. He totally killed that boss in 1 cast. Ooh, a scavenger with a really cool damage boost to fall through that whole section. But he's got 1 health for this boss, so he's gonna need the invincibility frames on this magic, and gets clipped on the way by.
Oh man. Sounds like it was an awesome run. It's brutal.
Alright, there we go. I fixed the numbering.
Did you just like recode it?
Yeah. No, I didn't. I deleted Scavenger's Time and re-entered it, and that fixed it for some reason.
Oh. We've had some pretty funny hot fixes
I
during
did
the show.
one show. I really did fix some lines of code and re-upload it and restart the server while the broadcast was going, and no one noticed. It was awesome.
Yeah, I remember there was some code that said specifically, if your username is Jonathan X Spiderwebia, then
That's right.
shrink the font down just a little bit so that it fits.
Uh-huh.
Only works if that is
If
your
that specifically
exact
is your
username.
name, it resizes it to its own special size.
Really, game?
Oh man. Scavenger.
Yeah, it gets caught inside the hitbox there.
He didn't even get a chance to fire off the second magic.
Not to mention the first magic completely whiffed.
Yeah, that looked like it was a pretty weak first magic.
So Nomad hits 3 times with 2 casts of the magic on this plant boss. You can
Yeah.
see that's why they're going for the sword.
Right, yeah. Star magic does not do its job here. I mean, I really think it just depends on the size of the boss's hitbox. When it's that small, I mean, that thing looks like it's maybe, 20 pixels in each dimension. It's not very much, so you don't have nearly the target area that you have with the wheel boss.
Wow, bots all in the chat today. Wow, just one after another. Go away,
Yeah.
bots. This is not a bot party. You're not welcome. Get wrecked.
I'm curious how many frames are being lost in the menuing in between levels, because I bet it's a non-insignificant amount. I think people often underestimate the amount of time that can be saved in menus.
Good menuing.
It's one of the skills we try to test here on SGL, good menuing.
Yeah, not too much of it, generally. but it's a legit thing to throw in there.
Maybe. Yeah. I was considered putting in a game like Shadowgate or something where it's very much about the fast menuing.
It's 100% menuing.
Really, yeah. And recall. It's also like how fast you remember what you have to do. But I suppose that's what's happening in menuing as well. You know what the menu's degrees of freedom are.
Yeah, gotta remember to hold down B. Because I hate villagers. I am not a merciful god, I do not listen to villagers.
You may not listen to villagers, but you build villagers.
It's just getting hit by everything.
Yeah, Mirana's kind of similar to Bloodpool in that you kind of want to head to the right, and there's not a lot of time to save, but plenty of time to be lost by getting hit by all of these enemies. Still doing a good job dodging this vine is Scav. Oh, but there's a mouth that comes out from the side that I didn't even know the boss can do. Dang.
I didn't know the boss could do that either.
Womp womp.
Hell of a time to find out, huh?
Yeah, really. Zenix's got a nice, healthy 2-second lead on his PB. He's gonna need about 4 to catch 90.
The controls in this section suck.
Oh,
Insult in
screw
chat
this
says-
freaking tentacle. Ugh.
Yeah, that's really annoying. See it just bobbing around.
Come
down
on!
there.
Ugh.
Can't do anything about it.
And this sword hitbox is just. Ugh.
Apparently, Mirana is very different in the Japanese version.
Is it better?
Apparently, it's super hard. I'm gonna guess you can't walk on the floor. That's my random guess.
Yeah, that. Them dang tentacles. Go away, Rotsuki Doji.
Wow, what a terrible star usage.
You got about 4 hits, maybe.
That was absolutely terrible. I was actually on a pretty good pace up to that point.
So if you're watching and you think ActRaiser seems like a cool game you might want to play, boy, do I have good news for you. Well, hopefully. We're gonna put together a little race of ActRaiser after the show is over. It's gonna be fairly short. 3 levels in one of the simulation sections.
Oh, and simulation section, fantastic.
Yeah. It's the first one, the small one. And it's a cool thing. Definitely unique. A lot of people, even though ActRaiser 2 has a lot of cool things about it, a lot of people don't like it because it dropped the sim aspect that made ActRaiser 1 so unique. Anyway, yeah, there's going to be a race on SRL, and that's open to everyone, and we're even going to keep track and who does what. We're going to post some names and some numbers, but mostly you should just come have some fun, I think. I guess that's open to our players too. Although we tend to have trouble scheduling everyone, so more than likely some of these people got to get to bed or work or something. But we shall see. Meanwhile, we got 8 minutes left to see the conclusion of this match. Everyone's been working hard and really, really going for it.
Yeah, I've decided I don't really like ActRaiser very much. It's just too stiff. The second one plays so much better.
Well, it was.
I mean,
I think,
really
I think the
pretty
second one's kind of stiff,
Is
honestly.
it?
Yeah, like it's got the
But
same.
you have better
thing.
movement. You got much better movement strats. I mean, this one is just like, it feels just really kind of slow and stiff, and your sword swing is kind of weird.
Yeah,
Plus,
this
it
was
has little
pretty
things
early.
like
The same.
if
though,
you when you
right? Like,
jump, you duck for a second after you jump. It's like, I mean, there's so much about this which is really clunky. The sim part is really rad. I really enjoyed the sim part, but this part, it was my least favorite part whenever I played this game because it just felt so clunky. It felt like really
I
tacked
think
on.
it is stiff. But I think you need to play the hell out of ActRaiser 2 before it's not stiff.
Yeah,
Even just getting used to doing neutral jumps so that you can move back and forth in the air is, I found it to be a huge sticking point when I played that. I kept, wanting to go backwards and just finding myself falling straight down. And the glide and then canceling out of the glide, like the potential for some great stuff is there. But I think there's a really high ceiling before you get there.
The reason why ActRaiser 1 feels so stiff is because you're so used to games where you can make decisions, whereas ActRaiser 1 forces you to commit to those decisions instead of saying, "Oh no, this was the incorrect decision. I need to fix that."
I suppose so, and unlike, Castlevania games, which are known for that kind of gameplay, there's a lot more going on at a much faster pace. So it's like enemies are at the same speed and number as, a faster moving platformer, and yet you have these, committal Castlevania-like mechanics.
Yeah. You'll commit to something that is gonna get hit by something off screen.
Right.
That's well, that doesn't seem fair.
Every time I get a good run going, mini boss RNG. Or I guess I should say Star Magic RNG.
Yeah, this game just has really trolly enemies that are occasionally invincible. which that's all the more maddening. Of course, everything damages you when they hit you. Very few games don't do that. I mean, yeah, I'd rather play The Sim.
Star NG.
Star NG. There you go. Well, 4.5 minutes left on the clock. It looks like, well, we've got our two matchups are going to be Nighty versus Zenik and Scavenger versus Nomad, and it looks like Nighty is just a bit ahead of Zenik, so that's going to, if he can keep this up, if he can hold him off for the last 4 minutes, it's going to be advancing to the next round of the winner's bracket.
I don't know. I think it's just a little unfair that all the games, like basically, I'm completely out of the tournament and it's all on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the alternative though is people would have to appear a lot more times, and I don't think people could do the tournament if they had to be on it that much within just 2 months.
Yeah, I just I don't know. It feels really unfair. This is not the system I ever wanted to play on.
Well, I mean, Super Nintendo is a thing we do on the show.
Pretty frequently.
I don't know. I mean, like, I've been on it a few times, and I've only played a Super Nintendo game, like, once. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I haven't even gotten a chance to do anything, and I'm just out of the tournament. I don't know. I don't have any strats built up for this game, and I'm not good enough at Super Nintendo games to make up for it.
I think what got you was the not enough time to practice way more than familiarity with the console.
Yeah, it definitely sucks when you've got a bad week where just not much time to practice. Well, just a moment ago we saw Zenik Reverie get in an improvement to his PB that puts him pretty much tied with Nighty. I'm not really sure which one is faster. So we're going to have Arcano taking a look at that run to give us the final verdict, but it's a dead heat for first place right here.
Yeah, we'll try to get that done as fast as possible, so because these guys are going to have to make a decision soon in a little less than 2 minutes. It's going to be last call, and that decision is probably going to be influenced by who is in the lead.
Yes, very much.
Hopefully we can get that information to them in time. Lightyear's guessing Zenik Reverie.
Lightyear is correct.
It is Zenik Reverie. There it is, just updated on the board. Zenik's in first place now with 256.67 versus Nighty's 256.93. So
Wow.
third of a second.
Third of a second.
16 frames.
16 frames. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, I think Nighty might have just saved himself there with a sword attack in midair. It can affect your hitbox just a slight little bit, extend your jumps just enough, and I think it really saved him in that lava room there. He's been playing it really, taking a lot of damage boosts in this first section, and it's possible for it to go real wrong. But it's right at the start, so he can reset real quick. But I mean, last call is, I mean, you can go ahead and do it, I think.
Yep, now it's time. Just now hit the mark, so it's your last chance to reset, guys. And that's it. No more resets past now.
Star NG doesn't quite make it a one cast, but the second one kills him pretty quick. Meanwhile, looks like Zenik has a split error there. That's fine. We'll see what the time actually is. But it could have raised the bar just a little higher for 90.
I forget where we said the timing ends.
For this one?
Act clear.
Oh, and it says act clear, that's right.
Scavenger comes out on top with 1 health. Ninety and
One health and
Nomad
bad
are
Star NG.
synced up there. Pretty good.
And I forgot to skip the villager text. Nice.
Oh no. So 90 is on a quest here to just try to find some frames on this boss. Oh, that is not a good way to finish it off. Takes a couple hits there, desperately waiting for the act clear screen to show up, but it looks like it's not going to be good enough. We'll definitely time it and make sure if he goes ahead and submits it.
Yeah, that's got to be a 258. That can't be lower than a 258. So probably is not going to be, but we'll check it just in case.
Ugh, screw this game. I'm done.
All right, Nomad's out.
I'm done as well.
Oh, yeah, Scavenger's run just ends.
So that is the playing of this match is over. We'll get some final details ironed out.
That's right. Meanwhile, there's a bonus game if anyone wants to stick around and play it.
Bonus game.
Bonus game should be
What's
up
the
there.
bonus game?
Oh, nice.
Bonus game, it's Booger Man.
Oh god.
If you could upload that run, that would be. Just want to double check it.
I just want to double check 90's run. Okay, sounds good.
Uploaded it yet though.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have time to stick around for the bonus game, unfortunately.
Okay. Sorry to hear, but it's pretty late.
Yeah.
Hey, does anyone know either how to add a game to Speedruns Live's list of games, or look up the list of games?
If you go to the game page, the game results page, it should tell you the abbreviation on the right side of the screen.
Game results page. Oh, there's a game list. Okay.
Do you know what I have? I have a cute cat that is Samus.
Abbreviation is just ActRaiser. Alright, what do you think, chat? Anyone here in chat want to race some ActRaiser? I have a responsibility to find at least 2 people before I go ahead and start this thing.
Well, I'd be happy to broadcast it if anyone does want. If not, I won't be offended. It's okay.
I know Blecky did.
Nice.
He's still around.
Well, we got the bracket results updated here. So Zenek Reverie moves on to the next round. Beating out 92-1 there. 90 is getting moved down to the loser's bracket, as is Scavenger, but they're going to be seated in 2 very different parts of the loser's bracket. Those two won't end up playing each other for a while again. Let's see. It doesn't look like any of the surrounding... There's not enough... We've only done 1 episode so far, so it doesn't look like any of the surrounding ones have been filled in yet. So we don't know who either of those people will be playing, nor do we know who Zenek's going to be playing in the next round. We've got another episode of SGL coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow the game is Adventure Island. That's the one that's tomorrow. Let me just make sure I got this time right for you. Yeah, it's going to be 8 p.m. tomorrow. 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, 8 to 11. It's going to be Adventure Island and another NES game that hasn't been revealed yet. The players tomorrow are going to be Reign of Soten, Pac-Man, Jadian, and Andy. Pretty high-powered episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're all good ones. I was really looking forward to the ActRaiser episode today, too, because it's a game that I'm really fond of. But Adventure Island also a really strong game, a very hard speedrun, and there's nothing that really can make it easier, so they're going to have to go all out in Adventure Island. There are no easy levels in that game. The only other... Well, we have 3 more matches that are about to be scheduled. I can probably tell you the dates, but we don't know what the games are going to be yet. But we do have 1 more match that is scheduled with a game announced, and that's Ninja Gaiden 3. That episode's going to happen this coming Sunday, October 4th, at 4 p.m. Sunday at 4 p.m. right here. We're going to have some Ninja Gaiden 3 with Freeball, Karaoke, Kananaphone, and Empty Eye.
I heard Empty Eye is actually going to practice.
He says that he isn't, but I think today he was actually practicing, which probably means there's something wrong with him.
Lemon Kitsune in chat wants to know, wants to see 100% ActRaiser speedrun. I think that's a thing, right? There's a theoretical limit to the population.
Oh yeah, maxing it out, it's very tricky, and you can permanently miss it. Like you can get to a point where you can't go back and get it, I think.
Yeah, once you clear the Act 2 on certain areas, it completely halts all population growth.
Yeah, the population maxing FAQ is really interesting. So, Boogerman is a game.
This is definitely a game.
I rented this for the Genesis. This was a rental for me. And I'm glad I didn't buy it. That's about...
Yeah, physics is feels kind of like an old PC game in physics, like kind of slidey and kind of...
I always felt that it feels a lot like Earthworm Jim in terms of control.
Yeah, I can see that. I think Earthworm Jim is a little bit tighter, though.
Definitely the over animation on his walking and swinging and stuff definitely reminds me of Earthworm Jim. Not to mention the crude nature of the the theme and level design.
Yeah, that seems like it's got something in common there.
But as in terms
game-
of game mechanics, you've got like ammo is boogers.
Burps.
And... Oh, there's like a fart that you can charge up.
I like how at the end of each of the levels you get sucked up into a nose, or you get sucked up into each nose and spit out the nose on the other side. At the end of each of these sections, it's kind of weird.
That's how noses work. And when you die, you melt horribly. Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome how you die. It's like, wow. Wow.
I forget the story. You're like a janitor and you fall into the vat of something.
Isn't that Toxic Avengers storyline as well?
It sounds like it.
Because, yeah, his is like he got pushed into a vat of like toxic waste and then became super buff, but he was like super nerdy before that. And he, you know, he has a mop. And he cleans up crime.
There's definitely a fair share of fell in a vat of ooze superheroes.
Oh yeah. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, Toxic Adventures. Isn't that how Joker turned into, well, in some versions, how Joker turned into who he is?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Lex Luthor lost his hair to a lab accident, which is kind of like acid and toxic waste.
It looks like that snail's shell is a nose.
I always thought it was kind of funny that, you know, Lex Luthor's actual, like, original reason for hating Superman was the fact that he, like, blew up his lab experiment and burned off his hair.
That's kind of funny. Because like I consider his baldness to be like one of his defining features in terms of design, visual design. So is there any particular reason Boogerman is our bonus game? Like, was it like a failed actual goal, or?
No, it was just, I was like, what Super Nintendo game should I pick? So I looked at a list of games, and that one jumped out at me, so I played it a bit.
Yeah, I bet it did.
Says, alright, this is perfect. Look at that. Right up into the nose, and out the other nose. That's how it works.
That's how noses work.
Is he collecting
Yeah, I bet
plungers?
this could actually work as a speed game.
This definitely could. This looks like a standard platformer right here. I think this is good SGL fodder. Look at that
I'm waiting to see if either of the game goals I submitted come up in the tournament. I would really like to see people playing those two games. They are really cool, but they're pretty hard. I'm not going to say what they are.
Right. I bet they will.
I see one of them that for sure has a good chance.
That's the one I think will.
Yeah. I don't know if we mentioned, but we're doing this challenge thing. You can go here and see how the bracket's coming along, and you can check out people's predictions as to who they thought would win. It's a fun little thing. 25 people filled out predictions. I think it's too late to fill out your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't fill out one once it's started.
Why? I want to go on there and like
It-
predict myself to win it all. That's what I want to do.
In the future.
Yeah.
Alright. I should update the challenge. Why don't I do that right now real quick?
Well, this game is certainly super, like, they put a lot of time into the animations.
Yes.
Like, for all the characters. Not just the main character, but for all of the little creatures, too. I mean, you know, sometimes you get one or the other where it looks like, you know, the main character, the creatures are really well animated. It looks like here everything is. Yeah, that's definitely reminds me a bit of Earthworm Jim as well.
Mhm.
Just the amount of time they spent on pixel art or sprite art.
Yeah, almost to the point where it kind of comes at the cost of gameplay. Like, I found
Kind of?
hitboxes being like, well, I mean, in this game it's like, well, but I just mean in terms of like they actually obscure hitboxes and stuff. It actually affects how you play the game.
Yeah.
A pick and flick adventure. That's the subtitle of this.
Yep. I remember that.
Excellent.
Alright guys, I think I'm gonna cut out of here.
Alright, see you later. Nice job today.
Yeah, good
I
one.
don't know about that, but I tried.
You tried pretty hard, man.
Mega Man 7 though.
That could have
That
gone
was
your way.
rough.
You shouldn't beat
Yeah.
yourself up over it. You went for the risky strats, and that's one of the risks that you might not end
One
up with the
of,
run.
one of our best players, highest ranked on the leaderboards, is Dragon Dark, and he has a match where he loses to everyone because he's got a 0 on the board, because he just kind of went for it. You just gotta play more matches. Come back for Season 2. Well, you're not out of it yet, but still come back for Season 2.
Oh, I plan on it.
Cool.
Alright guys, I will talk to you next time.
See you later.
Cheers.
Later.
Alright. There we go. Now I got the brackets updated. And the challenge as well. Let's see these predictions.
Oh good, when I mistype a command in my chat thing, it doesn't show up unless I don't put the dot. I think both of us predicted the right results for today.
Well, I mean, in any case, like, the reason I missed out on practice, I was doing something really awesome.
Why don't you tell us
Yeah,
about it?
that was, well, you did tell, I guess you can tell.
We did, but
we were
not everyone was
live, yeah.
probably here, right?
Yeah, wrestling, pro wrestling. And my trainers are Rikishi and Gangrel. And I went and did something called Territory League in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Which is basically every city has a team of 5 wrestlers. And I wasn't wrestling in this one, I actually came out as a manager. But my wrestling persona is Kraken Zero, and it is video game and internet influenced. Of course. But yeah, I was actually surprised to be called on the trip in general. Usually it was for the more experienced students or graduates or whatnot, so I was lucky just to be along for the ride. But yeah, that came at the last, like, literally I was like, whoa, I'm going? Okay. So, yeah, so basically we were left on Wednesday because we drove down there because we had to take a lot of equipment with us.
Yeah, you were saying there were cages, actually. Entire
Yeah,
cages.
Yeah, cages for each team that they sit in before they do their match. And so they can, get the crowd going, yell at each other a lot. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome, a lot of fun, and I was happy I got to go on that. And I mean, I definitely don't begrudge that. I mean, and really, I mean, this tournament, I'm not in this tournament because, like, for the monies or something, because I guess there isn't. I guess there isn't any for. I want to just do this for the heck of it, just to have fun with it. Just the same reason I've done any of Speed Gaming, Speed Gaming League.
Yeah, we emphasize fun over
Fun is mandatory.
over yeah. That's
Over
one way of
serious
putting it.
business. All speedruns are serious business.
That's right. No Natsumi games on this show.
No
Well,
Color
actually,
Dreams
or
games.
maybe all Natsumi. I don't know. It depends how you interpret serious fun.
We need learning Wisdom Tree and Color Dreams and LJN. All LJN. We should have an all LJN episode.
Ooh,
Oh boy.
a lot of good
maybe,
options there.
Maybe April Fools.
I have to say I was so disappointed that LJN didn't go along with the B. Freddy Krueger version of the game. The very first version of, like, Nightmare on Elm Street that was even on the posters that came, like the sort of posters that came with the games, you got to play as Freddy. Even, like, described it as like, yeah, you get to play as Freddy and you get to hunt down kids, and that sounded really crazy because there's nothing like that at the time. And then they just went with the sort of the 4-player gimmick thing. I was disappointed. But yeah, it's like, I have one of those posters around somewhere. But yeah, that would have been very cool. I actually owned Friday the 13th. I remember when I actually beat that game, I was pretty happy.
Oh yeah, Friday the 13th, I had that too, and I did not know what to do. I played that game so long and I had no idea how to get anywhere. I thought that just beating Jason was going to be all you needed to do. I didn't know you had to beat him 3 times and then he got harder.
Yeah, that was like,
I never even beat him once, but I figured, like, at least I figured out what I got to do. I got to find Jason and corner him and beat him, and I thought that, I was so clever for even getting that much figured out. But
well, one thing I did figure out, there was pretty much 2 camp counselors that were worth keeping and then just forget about the others.
that's right. What is it, Chrissy and
Mark and Chrissy, I
Mark
think.
and Chrissy. Yep. They're the ones who could run and jump and, like, throw well, and everybody else is terrible. Like, literally, it's like, the game just, like, blatantly, these are the 2 survivors.
Right, well, I used to...
Yeah.
Which
I
makes
used to play as
sense
the
in
bad
it,
ones
and-
to let them get killed. Let them
Well,
take
it
all
That's
the
makes
actually,
damage.
sense in terms
that's
of
actually
the,
really smart to take like a movie horror trope and incorporate it into game mechanics like that.
Right.
Yeah, there's always 2 survivors. And apparently, we've learned that it's because they are the fastest and strongest ones, and they throw rocks the best. So you gotta throw rocks if you're gonna beat Jason. Really good at it.
Yeah, if you're gonna survive a nightmare.
Right, although it turns out throwing rocks at Jason is really not going to do much. You got to get these other items that are like really complicated sequence of events to get these items, to get the torch.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you gotta light all the fireplaces to get the torch. The pitchfork is hidden in a cave, but you can't see around in the cave unless you have a flashlight. You can still travel it if you have it
do it, yeah.
memorized, but a lot harder. But once you get the pitchfork, you get to throw like lots and lots of pitchforks, so I wonder where you keep them all.
Right.
I mean, it kind of made sense with the rocks, you just pick them all off the ground, throw them. Maybe you can carry around a lot of knives. But then you get the
Knives, yeah.
pitchforks, and you're just literally tossing giant pitchforks.
Yeah, and the sweater, I didn't even know that existed.
Oh yeah.
That would have helped a lot if I'd known. But then again, I probably wouldn't have been able to get it.
This is the first I've heard of a sweater.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it makes you do like a lot less damage is done to you, especially Jason. And anybody wearing the sweater, if they're like any of the counselors, if they're not in use, he won't attack them. They're safe. But I think you can only get one sweater, which makes sense.
I think so too. Yeah.
But
What
yeah.
kind of bad man would wear 2 sweaters?
So looking at these brackets, I was wrong. We actually do know what one of the next round of matchups is going to be. It looks like, by coincidence, the 2 episodes we've done are adjacent to each other in the bracket here, and so it's going to be Error and Zenic Reverie facing off in round 2. Interesting.
Should be good.
And those 2 are going to have to know that that match is coming up for quite a while before all the rest of this fills in and we get to round 2.
You know, I think
Pick
a
up.
Friday the 13th goal would be interesting. I was just seeing Insults was writing that in chat.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
I thought about that, but that's a hard one to make a goal for, but I really would like to.
I think I have some ideas. I'm pretty familiar with the game. I haven't speedrun it or anything, but yeah, I know there is a speedrun of it on this
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
It's very it's an interesting one to. I tried to copy that run, and it was very tricky to do the Jason fight the way the speedrun does. But yeah, you can actually manipulate the RNG by resetting until you get a certain position, a certain like cue, and that tells you, exactly where Jason's going to start and which way he's going to go, and he's always going to move the same way from the outset of the game. So once you know that, you can actually find him and encounter him in the overworld instead of inside the cabins, where it's possible to do a lot more damage to him.
Oh yeah. He can destroy you, but if you know his patterns, you can really like get a lot of damage on him if you just meet up with him.
Yep, and if you do it right, because he'll run away after a while, even if you try to corner him. But then if you do it right, you can actually immediately trigger him again, and then immediately trigger him a 3rd time and finish him just before he gets away.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
Yeah, the speedrun's really cool to watch. But yeah, the goals would probably have to be set up like Jason is attacking the one of the other counselors, or is already attacking like the kids, any of the kids at the camp.
Right. The goal might have to be something besides just a portion of any percent. We'd probably have to set up a contrived sort of scenario that forces you to actually do some gameplay.
Yeah.
Besides just like, go to this house, get this thing, go to the woods, get that thing.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a thing like, go, like, get the torch, then go after Jason.
Yep, it might be neat to do a Jason's mom fight, just because that's not something that's in the
Ooh,
speedrun.
yeah. And that's actually kind of, fairly exciting. A lot more exciting than the Jason's Punch-Out, Jason Voorhees Punch-Out.
Right.
Because you even dodge him like you would in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yeah, with the side dodges. Yep, exactly.
When they lost the Mike Tyson rights, they should have replaced him with Jason Voorhees instead of Mr. Dream.
And then replace Mr. Dream with Freddy Krueger. Because that makes sense.
Yeah, there you go.
Mr. Dream, wasn't he supposed to be something like, kind of like Rocky Marciano or something?
I don't know
That's-
too much about it.
That's what I heard. So, what games would you guys like to see on SGL that you have not seen yet, but just haven't thought of a good goal for, maybe, or...
We got a big list of those, actually.
I do have
Yeah?
a list of games. I don't want to tell you all of them now, but I could tell you some offline. I don't want to
Yeah,
give away. I don't want to give away the future of SGL to everyone.
Yeah, well, I was just wondering if there was one in particular, or
Okay.
more interestingly, any that don't fit, that you just got to it and you're like, oh, I'd like to, but it just wouldn't make
Sure.
sense here.
Oh, I've got a lot of those. Let me see. Let me just go look through my list. There's a bunch. Man, there's a couple of these that were on that list, but then we ended up making games for them anyway.
That's cool.
Or it's bad, I don't know.
Let's see. Or bad. Let's see. Archon.
Ooh, yeah, that's a cool game, but I can't imagine a goal for that.
Nope.
Oh man, I've seen also the sequel to that. Oh yeah, I saw on the Commodore 64 version of the sequel, which looked really crazy, like very like same theme but very different board style. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Like yeah, Dana Chrysalis, he was playing it on one of his streams. Yeah, I had not seen it before. When I saw it, I was just like, ooh, it's like a chess game, but even nerdier. It's totally up my alley. So up my alley, I can't even describe it.
Well, I wanted to try to get on some sort of sports game. It's just difficult to find one that is not just a fixed time limit kind of game.
Yeah.
Or to take a game like that and somehow make a speed challenge out of it. Maybe it's something like
score the most points in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that I mean, I wouldn't want to change SGL to be about points, but I would. But you could do like score 3 unanswered points and however long it takes you to get that or something.
Yeah, like three points and then that sounds like a goal.
Sure.
There-
You can either do a certain number of points. What's that?
SRL does have goals where the goal is actually to reach a certain number of points.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, so that could be it. We could take like ice hockey or something like that. You got to get 5 points.
Blades of Steel. You have to punch out 3 people.
Start 3 fights. That's what I always did in that game, was try to start fights. Forgot about even playing it. Just wanted to see, because I didn't quite understand the mechanic for what made a fight break out. So you would just keep being a jerk trying to get the fights.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Often I wasn't even that didn't really know the rules of hockey that well. And so I was just like,
right.
I know I put the puck in the goal, and outside of that, I just get in fights, I guess. Well, I still can't believe just how many bots we've had in this chat. I mean, they've just been all over the place.
Yeah, it's been all over everywhere lately.
So what about this is attracting all the beep boop bots?
No idea.
You know what? Maybe it's actually like intelligent bots, but since their limit grammar is limited, that's how they say hi.
They're trying to be our friends.
Yeah, they're trying to be our friends, but they just don't know how because the only thing they're programmed to say is like spam links. So they speak in spam links.
Right.
Just
They've
can't
learned our
understand
language from our spam, and they're trying to communicate with us because that's how they think we talk. That's
Oh my
perfectly
god,
plausible.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the movie Explorers. Didn't the aliens learn English through watching like TV?
Yeah, that's something like that. I have a feeling I didn't make that idea up. I think that's from something.
Because I remember in the new Transformer movie, I watched the first one. Bumblebee spoke through radio and songs.
What is this boss? It's Hick Boy.
Sick
Okay.
boy, yeah. First he's got a chicken, and I don't know what he's throwing at you.
Chicken feathers, eggs.
Let's
He
hope.
throws the chicken.
I've yet to make it that far. I've just been messing around. Yeah, that boss. It's just a redneck.
Oh,
What's his special power? He's just backwards, I guess.
yeah, he's throwing eggs. That is what those are.
Oh yeah, and Booger Man had a special appearance in that Clay Fighters game.
Yep.
Yeah, he was one of the playable characters in my Clay Fighters. I think it was the second one, maybe. Maybe it was just the first one.
I like how your ammo gauge is a, a string of snot.
Interesting way of keeping track of your health through your cake colors.
Hmm. Do you actually move faster with different capes?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it.
Okay.
Nighty takes down the boss.
With one giant burp, one toxic burp.
Or
Boom. Well done. Did it in under 10 minutes. You want to move on and try out the pits, you're welcome to.
Don't say that, or he will do it. This is Nighty. We're talking about
That's
something
fine.
like
Let's see him grind away at
500.
this. Go for it.
It's so mean to sentence him. Man.
Hey, he likes it, probably, right? He wouldn't be doing it if he didn't.
No thanks. Yeah,
No
even
thanks,
Nighty's
come
like,
on.
you know what?
Come
Wow.
on.
Seriously, he has an impressive 500 something races on SRL with no forfeits.
No forfeits. That's pretty
wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I don't know why stream layout's getting chaotic here. This game looks pretty legit. I'm trying to see how long the full speedrun is. Doesn't seem like this is the kind of thing it would have a record, or maybe it does. I mean, everything's got a speedrun nowadays, right?
Yeah.
There's a TAS.
Ooh, wow.
See.
There's a TAS of it. I'm really impressed, actually.
Is it the SNES version?
Yeah. Oh, wait. There's a Genesis TAS. That's the Genesis TAS. Hold on. But this one that says part, that's broken up into several parts on YouTube, I think this is a TAS as well. Yes, this is a TAS for the SNES version.
Good to know that both versions are properly represented on assisted videos.
Of course. I gotta total them up to find out how long this is, but...
Something about the color palette I really don't like. And like how this really dark, basically black, sort of mid-ground object is way darker than the background. And the dark blue of the sky in the background is kind of off-putting with this bright green.
Yeah. I kind of like that color, dark blue. As
This
you
is
can
a
tell,
hard
it's the
game.
same as the SGL dark blue, roughly. I guess
Oh,
it's
it
a little
is.
less saturated.
That actually looks really weird now that I look at it on
Yeah.
the stream.
I bet if I mess with the gamma just a little bit here, I could get it to match exactly. It's really close. That green really pops on it too. Maybe I should add some lime green to the layout.
I guess it works for the Seattle Seahawks. I bet it's one of those color theory things where they're just one of those pairings that are pleasing to the eye, but I've never liked it. Dark blue, bright green.
Look at that, that enemy just picked his nose after you died.
Wait, your password was a collection of different enemies? Just strutting? That's interesting.
That's not a very practical password. As cool as that is, how do you write that down? You like draw pictures of each of them?
I guess. Camel.
Oh, much like the Castlevania 3 passwords.
Yeah.
Right, but those at least you know what they are. I mean, how are you supposed to describe what these enemies are? You can't write down, you know, potion, cross, etc. I mean, you can write down potion, cross, or something, but you can't write down, like, yellowish enemy, one with big ears, gross-looking guy.
Name them all.
Yeah, there's a couple games that are like that. Aladdin, I think. Didn't that one have like Jasmine, Jafar, Aladdin, and Apu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Iago is the
Genie.
things. Genie was one of them. That's right. That's right. I played. Well, I shouldn't say what it is because it's going to be an SGL mystery game. But there's one that I just worked on today that had a password system and that was the same thing. Also a SNES game.
Game Boy SGLs are pretty interesting.
We've had some really good Game Boy games picked. I think it's because it's a brand new platform to us, so like all the the real low hanging fruit is still there. But then again, even for NES and SNES, there's a lot of really popular games, or even games that are well liked but not necessarily speedrun much that we haven't done any of yet. So there's plenty of room for top tier NES and SNES games in season 2. But yeah, Game Boy's wide open field.
So when was the very first SGL?
I want to say February of 2013.
March. No, wait. Could be February.
Nope, it was March. You're right. March of 2013. Yeah, 2013, January of 2013, we were at AGDQ at the 4-H Center, and I pitched the idea to the TSSB guys. I had a whole notebook full of ideas that I was going to run by people, but that seemed to be the one that was most worth it doing. And so we started out with getting PJ and Duckfist to test him with me. And Garrison and Dram joined us, and we did a pilot episode. It was pretty fun. Duckfist actually did the commentary and ran the broadcast for the first 22 episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
I think he'll be joining us for a few of these matches this time around. He expressed some interest in it. I think he'll be
cool.
Fun to have him back again. Man, this changed a lot since then. I mean, not so much in terms of format, although there have been a few format changes, but mostly just in terms of the way these episodes happen. It's much more technology involved. It's less just doing things all manually.
Yeah, you guys have some legit scripts going for all this stuff. It's really awesome.
Yeah, this would not be manageable if we didn't have the website with the voting system and the Lua scripts to upload everything.
Oh right, I think you got a choice of 3 games back then. You could veto one,